What's going on, everybody? Your boy Hips here, coming at you with some more video games. Because video games are what I play, obviously. Um, so today I gotta let my other mouse charge, so I gotta use my shitty mouse for a bit. So I thought we could just finish up the Helltaker since it doesn't require precision. So we'll do that. So let's get started. Let me just finish some things real quick. So, where is it? There it is. Finish loading it up. Yeah, my mouse is pretty dead, if you can believe it. So I gotta use my shitty Logitech mouse. I also need to invest in a wireless headset too. That'd be pretty cool to have. Alright. Alright. See, here we go. So I should have my home dude should be chilling on the screen with me right now. I gotta double check, make sure it's working. Yep, there he is. Alright, everything's working as intended. I've never encountered such frustration as trying to use these damn models. It's pretty annoying. Alright, so last time I think we did Modius. So we have Cerberus, we did her, we got Zadrada, Azazel. I think we did Justice as well. Right? Yeah, okay. Hold on, we did... Oh shit, we didn't do Modius. Oh shit. Alright, screen, there we go. In the wake of your last date with Modius and her confession therein, you've been forced to look for inspiration for your next date in an unconventional place. Pull my chat. A yawn overtakes you as you adjust the way of your sitting in bed. You've been this way for some time now, and with copious pillows stacked at your back, and the book Tango Beneath the Moonlight is resting in your lap. There are only a few pages left until the end of the book, so you simply can't bring yourself to stop now. And yet you've been reading for so long that you're certain you should at least try to get some sleep. How'd that happen? Just as the thought occurs to you, however, you hear a knock at your door. Hey, Taker! It's time to get up already. With a sign, you hurl off the covers and pull back the curtains. Morning sunlight pours into your room at once, and you realize that you've spent all night reading. I've had those days. You attempt to shake off the drowsiness just long enough to answer the door. Yeah, sorry. I'm up. Good. It isn't like you to sleep in. See that it doesn't happen again, okay? Right. Lucifer strides off down the hallway and toward the kitchen while you retreat back into your room. Hold on. Yeah. There we go. You eye the open book, citing catawampus atop your covers, and decide that it's best if you finish it later, lest you earn the wrath of the Queen of Hell. With that in mind, you decide to get ready for the day and make your way down to breakfast. When you arrive, you see that Pandamonica and Modius are there as well. They are making light conversation with one another, but you are too preoccupied with your own thoughts to participate. That book you snagged from Modius, with her permission, of course, has given you many ideas, enough to formulate a plan for your next date. A plan that you hope to put into action this afternoon. Suddenly excited by the prospect, you scarf down your breakfast and excuse yourself from the table. Where are you off to? Yeah, you seem to be in a bit of a hurry today, Taker. You turn toward the women. The women. Shouting a meaningful glance at the latter. Modius at once seems to understand the cause of your excitement and blushes. I've got some errands to run today. How very pedestrian of you, Taker. Where are you off to, if I may ask? The mall? Why? Well, I have some things I've been meaning to pick up, but if you don't mind getting them for me, I'd be grateful. Sure, that shouldn't be a problem. Did somebody say mall? With a raspy laugh, Zadrada enters the kitchen through a curtain of smoke. Pandamonica waves the smog away from her face with a grimace. Zadrada, how many times must I ask you to please refrain from smoking in the kitchen, of all places? Zadrada waves off Pandamonica's protestations, dropping ash onto the tile floor in the process. If you're headed to the mall, piss taker, I'd like you to pick some things up for me. Seriously? Yeah, wait right there. I made a list. Before you can object any further, Zadrada races off. I don't know how I feel about being everyone's errand boy. So what sort of boy would you rather be? Our pool boy, perhaps? Odious giggles. Ooh, an affair with the pool boy. Oh, I like the sound of that. Yes, well, sadly, we don't have a pool. Aww. An investment for the future, then. Just then, Zadrada bounds back into the kitchen with all the subtlety of an explosive. Ah! Aha! Here you are! Now be a good boy and fetch me what I need. The demon presents to you a crumpled up piece of paper stained with marinara sauce and bearing an official-looking letterhead from some sort of real estate office. You squint your eyes at the scribbles, trying to make out exactly what has been written. The longer you stare, however, the more your head begins to hurt. How the hell am I supposed to read this? And where did you get this paper from? It looks like business stationery. It's not important. Can you get this stuff for me? Once I figure out what it says, sure. Hand it over. Let me see. Pandamonica studies the paper with Modius peeking over her shoulder. For hell's sake, Zadrada, I can hardly tell if these letters are supposed to be Glekian or Inochin. Yeah, you really need to brush up on your mortal penmanship. Oh, for crying out loud, can you get the stuff or not, shit taker? Yeah, sure he can, if he wants me to put on some sort of... Wait, what? Yeah, sure he can if he wants to get put on some sort of FBI watch list, of course. This list is undoubtedly the ingredients for some sort of explosive bioweapon. Oh, he'll be fine. Just don't buy everything at the same place and use cash. I don't see what the issue is here. Come on, Taker, don't be a stick in the mud. Is one little list really too much for you? You purse your lips and stuff the list into your pocket. Yeah. Yeah. Fine, I'll get the stuff off your list. But you better not ask for anything else for a while. Got it? Sweet! You'll need to lay low after you buy that stuff anyway, Taker. Zadrada claps you on the back and departs. What about your list, Pandamonica? Oh, I've already emailed it to you. Check your phone. Don't worry, it's legible. and legal. Thanks. Well, I'm off. I'll see you guys soon. Farewell. You start to head up to your room to gather your things, but a tug at your elbow stops you in your tracks. Taker? Yes, Modius? What you want, girl? Before you go, I wanted to ask, is this about, you know, our date? You smile and pat the demon on the head affectionately. You'll see. Just be patient. I've got some ideas. Blushing, Modius nods and scampers off. Pandemonica, initially pretending as though she hadn't been eavesdropping on your interaction, smiles knowingly in your direction before escaping as well with a fresh cup of coffee. Without further ado, you snag your shoes and keys from your room and make your way down to the mall. On the way, your thoughts return to Modius' confession. More than ever, you hope this idea of yours pans out. But first, there's something you need to get. The search of which has brought you to the mall, and more specifically, a dress shop. Gowns of Repso. They are a kind associate manages to piece together your disjointed thoughts and non-specific ramblings into something that you hope Modius will love. She even offers to wrap it for you. You leave the shop feeling altogether more confident now that your idea is becoming a reality. Before you can go home, however, you must complete the list thrust upon you by Zedrada and Pandemonica. Fortunately, you managed to complete both without raising too much suspicion. The fuck did I buy? Afterward, you load everything into your car and head home to find Modius sitting impatiently in the living room. She jumps to your feet as soon as you walk in. I know you said to wait and be patient. But I just have to know what you plan to do, Taker. So please. Hey, what's that? She nods at the long box tucked under your arm. Is that for me? Mm-hmm. Can I open it now? Well, our date isn't for another hour or so. You look into Modius' expectant gaze and grin. But I suppose I can let you have a sneak peek of what's to come. Here. Modius takes the box from you and without much pomp and circumstance rips the wrapping off of it. Before long she's got the box in shambles on the ground and is holding in her hands a beautiful black dress, amply adorned with glitter and sequins. Oh, so that's how you spell that word. Her eyes grow wide as she holds it aloft. Do you want to try it on? Without thinking, the demon nods furiously and strips right there in the living room. Hang on. Moments later, Modius is standing before you, admiring the dress as it hugs her body. What do you think? Does it fit well? Whoa! Oh my god, jeez. Boner alert. Taker. It's amazing. That's a very... I like the censorship on the nipples, I guess. And it fits perfectly. But why? What's this for? Oh, you'll see. No more waiting. You chuckle. Alright, I suppose it'll be okay if we're a little early. Let me just get changed and then we can go, alright? Go where? Taker, don't walk away from me. Where are we going? Before Modius can catch you, you disappear into your room and emerge sometime later dressed in a sharp red suit and a black button-up shirt that matches Modius' new dress. Oh, wow. You look great. Ready to go? In response, Modius sidles up to you. I'm thinking that's supposed to say slides. Up to you and loops her arm around yours. Together you make your way to the car and pull off. You still haven't told me where we're going. Like I said, you'll see. Fine. You smile to yourself as you drive into the downtown area. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see Modius trying to suss out where her whereabouts Out where? Wait, what? Modi is trying to suss out her whereabouts using familiar landmarks. I'll be like, it's a private event. Hold on. Thinking you'll keep the mystery up a little longer, you decide to make a couple of unnecessary turns and take a more roundabout way to get to your destination. At long last, you pull into the parking lot before a solid brick building. The sign out front reads, Tatiana's International Tango Studio. Right away, Modius reads the sign and gasps. But it's like, the first Transformers movie where Sam Witwicky's dad makes him think he's going, makes his son think he's gonna buy him like this really nice car, but makes him go buy a shitty car. Is this it? It is. We're going to learn tango? We are. Modius grabs your arm and squeezes. You can't tell at first if she's excited, apprehensive, or both. Are you ready? At this, Modius turns to you and you can see behind her eyes an expression of boundless elation. She nods furiously. I love it. I was hoping you might. I thought learning to do the tango together might toe the line between romance and sensuality. Sensuality. Yeah. Oh shit, whoops. Just enough that it stops you, or lets you step out of your comfort zone at your own leisure. And who knows, we might end up being amazing at it. A nice way to look at it. Anyway, we should head to the sign. I took the scenic route to get here, so our lesson should be starting soon. Needing no further prompting, Modius bounds out of the car and seizes you by the arm on your way into the studio. Aww. I like this music. Once inside, you're approached by a lithe, sharply dressed woman. Whoa! Welcome. I am Tatiana, and you must be my next appointment. That we are. Excellent. The woman stomps her feet and claps twice in the air in a flourish. Now, if you'll just follow me. As Tatiana leads the way further into the studio, you feel Modius grip your arm tighter than ever. Afraid that this is the signal for the demon getting cold feet, you look back only to be met with a pair of heart-shaped eyes staring intently back at you. Aww. Is everything okay? Yes. I'm just nervous. Nervous? Why's that? You did all this for me. What if it doesn't work? If it doesn't work, we'll try something else. But for now, don't worry about it, okay? Even if we don't continue this in the future, let's have fun with today. Let's just have fun with it today. Alright? Okay. With that, you head into the dance room. Tatiana hands you both a pair of dance shoes and leads you out onto the floor where you are surrounded by large wall-to-wall mirrors on two sides. Let us begin. First things first, allow me to introduce you to the 4 principal moves in dance from which all steps are based. At once, you and Modius are enraptured with the lesson. Oh! Oh, it's that leg action over there. Woo! Woo! Getting a little hot in here. To begin with, Tatiana shows you the absolute basics, which is to be expected for a couple of beginners, of course. However, things are progressing quickly into something more advanced when it becomes clear that Modius is, much to your surprise, an absolute natural. The demon masters each new step with ease and contorts her body with a level of poise and flexibility only seen in masters of their craft. Both you and the instructor are left completely awestruck by the display. Miss? Are you absolutely certain that you've never had any lessons before? None at all. Why do you ask? Though the instructor scratches her head in disbelief, she has no choice but to shrug and proceed with her lesson. No reason. You and Modius breeze through a 2-hour session in the blink of an eye. By the end, you are exhausted in ways you can't even believe. I think doing dance lessons would be nice for a date. Your calves ache and your arms feel like jello. Modius, meanwhile, looks better than ever. As a matter of fact, she's absolutely glowing. You've never seen her smile so much before. She even pouts when the instructor announces the end of your lesson. With heavy hearts, you both bid farewell to Tatiana and start your journey home. Next to you in the car, Modius is fidgeting happily. I take it you enjoyed yourself? Mm-hmm. I've never done dance before. And the tango is so. In a fit of ecstasy, the demon shudders. Sensual. I'm glad to hear that. Maybe we can go back next week. Yes, please. I'd like that very much. Good, it seems like this is exactly what you've needed. It is. But it's also so much more than just the dancing. It's knowing that you really listened. I don't think anyone has ever done that for me before. But you did. You heard what I had to say, and you went out of your way to do something with everything I told you in mind. That's what means the most to me, Taker. That, more than anything, is what I needed. So, thank you. Really. You open your mouth to reply, as if voicing her gratitude wasn't enough. Modius slips her hand in yours and laces your fingers together. Aww. Shocked, you turn to the demon for answers, but she's too busy staring out the opposite window to meet your gaze. That's so cute. Nevertheless, you spy a reddening to her cheeks. It would seem that you still have a long way to go. But this moment, with her hand in yours, is a good step in the right direction. You're welcome, Modius. Aw, that was cute. I like that. Let's do Pandamonica, I guess. You can't stop thinking about all that Pandamonica told you the other day. Her words occupy your thoughts to such a degree that you find yourself going out of your way to do research on the matter. However, after exhausting the local library of their resources regarding demonology, and earning more than a few concerned looks from the librarians there, excuse me, you turn to the only place depraved enough to have what you are looking for. The internet. Damn. Alas, even that proves to be unfruitful. Unsurprisingly, there isn't much in the way of academic papers around the study of actual flesh and brimstone demons. Certainly you could turn to Lucy or one of the others living under your roof for some insight, but you're hesitant to air Pandamonica's personal issues out for all to hear. So instead, you seek out the only other person you can think of, driven by obsessive curiosity, would know just as much about demons as the very denizens of hell itself, Azazel. Yep. Fortunately, you managed to find her alone in the garden, crouched over the azaleas with her notepad, clutched tightly in one hand and a plucked flower in the other. You come upon her just as she's about to lick one of the petals. Ew. Oh, hello, Mr. Taker. Hey. What are you doing there? Oh, this? Just a bit of research. I see. Can I help you with something? Actually, yes, there's something I'd like to ask you about. If you have a minute, of course. It's something personal. Personal? Not about me. It's about Pandamonica, actually. Oh, dear. She hasn't found my backup research file, has she? What? No. Wait, what backup research file? What? Never mind. It's best if I don't know. No, what I wanted to talk to you about was regarding demonology. Pandamonica told me something the other day, and I'm not sure what to do with the information. I tried digging into it on my own in the hopes of understanding the situation better, but I couldn't get very far. Aha! So you naturally came to me, the leading demonology expert in the universe. Why, I'm flattered, Mr. Taker. Though I must... That fucking face, that's a pretty good face. Though I must admit, it's rather presumptuous of you to assume that an esteemed academic such as myself isn't too busy to help you. As you know, I'm rather swamped with work on my thesis. Oh? Well, I don't mean to put too much on your plate. If you're too busy, I can find someone else to help. Wait, no! I mean, while I would normally be too busy for such a request, you just so happen to have caught me right as I'm about to take my lunch break. So, why don't you whip us up a couple of sandwiches and I'll listen to your conundrum, eh? Fine, give me a minute. You pop inside the house and return a moment later with a couple of thrown together ham and cheese sandwiches. After handing one plate to Azazel, you sit down on the grass next to her. Bleh. In between bites of your lunch, you launch into a thorough explanation detailing the time you spent with Pandamonica thus far, and everything she has revealed to you on your last date. Aside from asking a few clarifying questions here and there, Azazel is shockingly silent up until your tale has come to an end. This is very interesting indeed. All very interesting indeed. I have a few theories, but before I can get to that, what exactly are you hoping to gain from this taker? Answers, I suppose. And what will you do with those answers? Well, I just want to help. Maybe it isn't my place to interfere, but I also know that I can't just sit by and watch her suffer. That's really admirable of you, Mr. Taker. I'm sure that, even if you fail to make a difference, she'll appreciate the effort. I love the music. I hope so. Now, onto my theories. As it stands, I believe the primary reason for Pandamonica's affliction is thanks to the influence Hell exerts over its denizens, whether they remain within its direct boundaries or not. Therefore, it stands to reason that, in order to ease her particular malady, you need to lessen Hell's metaphorical grip over her. The easiest way to do that is to distance her from Hell. So I just need to bring her somewhere that's as far away from Hell as possible? Like a really tall mountain? Yes, that's one way of thinking about it, I suppose. But I'm afraid it isn't quite so simple. Sure, putting physical distance is one way of alleviating her plight, but is that really sustainable? I think what you should really focus on is either aesthetic or emotional distance. Either you can make her immediate surroundings the very antithesis of Hell, or you can replace the lingering feelings of her time in Hell with something totally different. In doing so, you may be able to make the voices stop. The antithesis of Hell? How am I supposed to accomplish something like that? I realize this is all far easier said than done, but fear not. I have a couple of ideas that could help you. Based on what you've told me and my knowledge of Hell itself, I think you have two avenues with which you can pursue. Firstly, bring her somewhere that is opposed to the dark and drab image of Hell. That, I believe, is much of her malady subsided on your walk the other day. The beautiful scenery and the cold brought her away from Hell's clutches, giving her peace. Alright. And the second option? That one is a little more tricky. But also, it's likely to prove more effective. Okay. What is it? Alright. Fuck Azazel. Out of Pandamonica, you expect me to do all this shit? Whew. If you can elicit feelings of joy, contentment, affection, and even love, it is likely you'll be able to permanently ease her disquiet? What the fuck are these words? But it is difficult to say if this will succeed since it hinges on her replicating those feelings. I see. Thank you, Azazel. You've given me a lot to think about. Anytime, Mr. Taker. If there's anything else I can do, just let me know. Actually, there is one more thing I think you can do for me. Of course. What is it? Stop licking the plants. I think I know where this is going. You've got a bathing suit, right? Um, yeah? Good. Pack up your suit, a towel, and a couple of umbrellas and meet me by the car in half an hour. What are you planning, Mr. Taker? You'll see. Also, find Pandamonica for me, and get her to pack up her things as well. We're gonna take a little trip. With that, you leave Azazel to go into the house and track down Judgment. With her help, you wrangle Cerberus into the kitchen so that the three of you can begin preparing a basket of sandwiches, snacks, and wine. Then you gather your own bathing suit and a couple of beach-related activity items before loading everything up in the car. True to her word, Azazel meets you out there with the very groggy Pandamonica in tow. Whoa. Oh my god. Don't tease me. Oh. Okay. Judgment looks the best, then Azazel, Cerberus, and Pandamonica. I don't know what this is. This looks really weird. What in the world is going on, Taker? And why are we all standing here in our bathing suits? Hop in, and you'll see. Pandamonica pauses to glare at you before sliding into the passenger seat. I think the reason Cerberus is so low is because they all are wearing the same outfit. I think it would be cool if they all had different outfits. Satisfied that no one hasn't gotten hurt yet, you hop behind the wheel. The car rumbles to life, and you set off. Ooh, that face. For the first leg of your long journey, Cerberus and Judgment war over territory in the back seat while Azazel regales you with all sorts of obtuse facts about all the scenery you pass by. Pandamonica is, unsurprisingly, silent as she stares out the window. You cannot tell if she's grumpy, skeptical, or both. Eventually, the skirmishes in the back seat come to an end, and even Azazel falls into silence as you draw nearer to your destination. At last, after nearly an hour of driving, you pull off the main road onto a narrow side street, which brings you closer to the smell of salt air. Soon you are able to hear the sound of crashing waves and decide then that it's a good time to park. Alright everyone, we got a bit of a walk to still go, so grab what you can. I promise you won't want to make a return trip. Where in the world have you brought us, Taker? Pandamonica, do you mind grabbing the picnic basket for me? I've got my hands full a bit full with the towels. Don't dodge the question like that, mortal. Surely you don't think that I'm foolish enough to fall for that. Hey! Answer me, Taker! Taker, don't you walk away from me. I saw like another text pop up for a second. You grab what you can and hurry out of the car. Then, with everyone following close behind you, you lead the way on a trek through a sparse grove of trees and past a wall of high boulders until you feel your feet sink into the sand. Here we are. Whoa. Upon setting their sights on the beach, Cerberus drops everything they're holding, tosses off their sandals, and charges forth into the water. Wait for me! Judgment. Up the face. Hey! Don't just drop everything and run off. Hey! Grumbling, Judgment manages to gather up everything Cerberus dropped and lug it the rest of the way. This is... Do you like it? It's... Pandamonica turns to you and meets your great gaze. At once, she seems to understand what it is you're really asking. Quiet. Oh, quiet. I really appreciate this, Taker, but Listen, if they come back, then so be it. There isn't much we can do about that. But for now, try to pull all that, put all that in the back of your mind and just enjoy yourself. You reach into the basket hanging off Pandemonica's forearm and pull out a thermos. Here, packed you some coffee. Now go relax, okay? Oh, thank you. You nod and watch Pandemonica walk off to the sunset to set up the blankets. Then a shout draws your attention to Judgment chasing Cerberus through the shallow water, running circles around the crouched Azazel. Come back here, you! Quit running like that, you're scaring away the specimens. Judgment is about to toss her chains out at the mischievous trio when you whistle for her attention. As she turns to you, you withdraw a disc from the bag on your shoulder and toss it to her. She catches it out of the air and returns a thankful wave. With one fluid motion, Judgment hurls the disc down the beach. Cerberus pauses only for a moment to watch it go, then practically tramples over herself to pursue it. You, meanwhile, go to help Pandemonica unpack everything. I've never been to a beach before. Aside from the banks of the river Styx, of course, which aren't necessarily pleasant, we don't have anything like this. Okay, my one confusion, like... This is part of the bathing suit, right? This, like, white shit? Or is this black stuff the bathing suit? Because this is a very impractical bathing suit if it is. Part of me says it's black and white, but I can't tell. But where are all the people? Are your beaches always so bare? No, they aren't. Technically speaking, this isn't really a public beach. It belongs to some heiress and her boyfriend. Their house is a little ways inland. But they almost never come down here. Supposedly he really doesn't like the sand, for what... Supposedly he doesn't like the sand for whatever reason. Nice Star Wars joke. Always nice. Anyway, I used to sneak down here when I was younger, to get a little bit of beach time to myself. I see. It's peaceful with the added flair of potentially being caught. I like it. You've done well, Taker. So what do you humans tend to do in a place like this? I'm glad you asked. With a grin, you pull off your shirt. Yeah. Woo! Toss it to the side, like some animal. Then you toss off your sandals, then you beckon Pandemonica to follow you as you jog down to the water. Though hesitant at first, the demoness follows you. For a while, you are content to stand where it's shallow and watch the waves crash against your ankles. But soon you take Pandemonica's hand and bring her further into the surf. From the look on her face, you gather that she's not terribly experienced swimmer. So rather than bring her deep enough that the waves could sweep her away, you settle for sticking to where the water is only as high as your waist. I'm trying to throw something away. This is surprisingly pleasant. Do you know how to swim, Taker? I do. Could you show me? Sure. Here, let me teach you how to float on your back first. Just as you reach out to bring Pandemonica closer to you, something lands on the water between you. A familiar, disc-shaped object. Is that? I think so. Look out, guys! Before you can react, Cerberus plows into the both of you at top speed, knocking you into the water. Somehow you manage to snag Pandemonica under the water and drag her to the surface, cradled in your arms. Okay, now we get to get a better look at this outfit. Sorry. I honestly can... I'm assuming this is her skin, right? That's a really weird outfit. Fucking Azazel. Sorry. It's alright. Like hell, it's alright. I could have drowned. Come here, you! Pandemonica squirms out of your grasp and launches herself at Cerberus. The trio scamper off at a surprising pace, and you find yourself chasing Pandemonica, who is, in turn, chasing Cerberus. Judgment and Azazel watch the scene unfold with dumbstruck expressions. Pandemonica, wait! I'll strangle them. Your chase brings you out onto the beach for a while before Cerberus wisely realizes that the water is the safest place from Panamonica. They charge into the surf, but Panamonica follows after them. With a yelp, Cerberus tries to splash water into Pandemonica's face, hoping to make a swift escape when she is blinded, but the sleepy demon is not deterred. Pretty soon, a splash fight breaks out. Pandemonica enlists you and Azazel and Judgment to help her overcome the boundless energy of her foe. Before long, the splash fight turns into an all-out splash war, which lasts until the sun begins to set. With daylight waning, you finally call it on the battlefield and head for the beach. The demons all follow suit, collapsing onto their towels with content expressions. You pass out sandwiches and wine to everyone. Though you, Pandemonica, and Judgment savor your dinner, Cerberus scarfs down her food so that they can head down by the water and begin making sandcastles. Azazel too eats quickly so that she can return to the pools and examine the wildlife. Judgment is content to watch them for a time, but soon she too gets up, grumbling about something about how they're doing it all wrong. Oh, there's no Azazel. It's kind of sad. Left alone, you and Pandemonica set your sights on the horizon, where the sunset has made the sky a deep shade of red. You know? You feel her scoot closer to you on the blanket and loop her arm around yours. We don't have sunsets in hell. I've certainly heard of them before, but I never imagined that one could be this beautiful. With a sigh, Pandemonica leans her head against your shoulder. Thank you for today, Taker. I've never felt so at peace. I hope that it lasts. Me too. This is everything I've ever wanted. I've never asked it to be what I am, to bear the curses that rest on my shoulders. None of us did. But we make the best with what we've been given. I wish I could just stay here forever. With you. As do I. You look over at the beach. Judgment and Cerberus are working hard to build the most impressive castle. Judgment is winning by a long shot. Perhaps because Cerberus has chosen to build her as the top Azazel. Oh! Oh shit, I didn't even see Azazel there. Damn. I was like, damn, they didn't put her in there. Oh, she's just literally having sand all over her. The angel squirms too much to provide a solid foundation. Then, after a while, high tide sweeps in and Cerberus's moat is flooded, knocking her castle over. As she begins to pout, lamenting her loss, you realize that it'll be time to head home before long. The thought of leaving this place is a bittersweet one. You aren't certain what will happen from here on out, but at least you have the memories you made here to look back on. Pandemonica looks up at you, seeming to realize that your time here is coming to an end. You meet her gaze, which you can read what it is that is on her mind. Is it hope, contentment, melancholy? We must depart, mustn't we? I'm afraid so. Pandemonica nods, and you whistle for Cerberus. Azazel and Judgment to come. You whistle for Cerberus, Azazel, and Judgment to come help pack everything up. Groggily, they stumble back up the beach. As you gather your things, you keep an eye on Pandemonica, hoping to glean something from her expression. Though she avoids looking at you directly, you do manage to catch her eye just before you leave, only to be met with a sorrowful smile. Thinking that this means you failed in your endeavor to relieve her of hell's influence, you hang your head on the way to the car. Behind the wheel once again, you urge the car to life. Pandemonica sits in the passenger seat next to you, a look of concern etched onto her brow. You drive home in silence, save for the soft sound of Cerberus snoring in the back seat. Once you arrive, everyone flies out of the car, drops their things in the living room, and heads off to bed with muttered good nights. Good night, mortal. Night. Pandemonica lingers behind only a while longer, seemingly unable to articulate exactly what is on her mind. Taker, Don't worry about it, Pandemonica. At least we had today. But Yes, you're right. Good night. Good night. You let out a breath that you feel as though you've been holding it in since this morning. Azazel passes you on her way to bed, patting you encouragingly on the back as she goes. Maybe we can try something else another time. Yeah. Maybe. Second circle. Alright, so we did these two. Melina, Azazel. Oh, we haven't done Azazel. We did Justice. So 1, 2, 3, 4 out of what, 9 girls? Yeah, 9 girls. We did 4 out of 9. Okay, we're getting there. I'm tempted just to do Azazel. I've noticed these two don't really have animations from what I can tell. Justice has it occasionally. Oh, there we go. I kind of want to do Azazel because I don't really like her story. I don't think it's that interesting. Freaking Zadradas is literally just drugs and shit. Getting chased by cops. In the days following your run-in with the curator at the park, you find it hard to concentrate on anything of its significance. Azazel, too, seems particularly disinterested by the man's unique plight, so much so that her studies have almost completely grounded to a halt. Or distracted, sorry. Fortunately, a week after your run-in with the curator at the park, you and Azazel finally managed to make time to drive down to the museum. You remembered to call, right? I did. He said he would close down the exhibit for us. You'll have plenty of room to work when we get there. Azazel nods and bounces in her seat. You watch her display of excitement out of the corner of her eye. Azazel? Are you sure you're ready for this? Ready? Of course I'm ready. Why wouldn't I be? Well, it's just that this is a big ask, you know? We aren't exactly detectives, or forensic art experts for that matter. Speak for yourself. Pardon? She's an angel, dude. Or a fallen angel. Like, she's got some experience. Besides, why can't we be? I think that'd make for a good story, don't you? An angel far from home and a mortal man accustomed to the fires of hell, solving vaguely supernatural crimes together. It's a catchy premise. Yeah, I suppose. It seems familiar, though. You haven't been poking around in Modis's books again, have you? Wait. I'm assuming this is a reference to a movie or a TV show, but I don't know what it is. Is this like Supernatural or something? I feel like I vaguely recognize this reference. Oh well. You haven't been poking around in Modis's books again, have you? Azazel. It was purely for research purposes, I assure you. But now that you mention it, one of those ones I read did have a similar plot, with a few key differences, of course. You mean to say that the characters had sex in the end? Wait, don't you? Well, in a way, yes. It's true they had sex at the end, but also in the middle, and the beginning too. So, only slightly different from our current situation then. Real quick. Need to stop charging my phone, or charge my mouse and charge my phone now. I, the biggest idiot of all time, did not charge my phone today. So it's at 27%. For now. Yeah, wait, what? We gonna bang? Wait, what? Look, Mr. Taker, we're here. Just then the museum looms into view. Deciding to stash the angel's seemingly innocuous comment away for a future discussion, you focus your attention on the task at hand. I would love to see that. If, like, there was a dojin or something like that. It'd be amazing. Right as you pull into the parking spot, you are greeted by a familiar stout figure. The tearful man assails you as soon as you step out of the car. I can hardly express how happy I am to see you both. I've been waiting by the phone ever since our chance encounter at the park. A chance encounter, was it? Sorry it took so long for us to come down, Mr. Curator. No need to apologize. You must be busy people, after all. In any case, I've shut down the exhibit for you, much to the chagrin of my superiors. Jargon, I think is how it's pronounced. It's all ready for you now. Then I suppose we'll get to work right away. Ready? Ready. You and Azazel follow the curator up to the art exhibit. True to his word, the place is completely empty. Nothing but silence and the dim flicker of fluorescent bulbs fills the marble hallways. Were you not in the presence of a literal angel, you might have felt a little spooked by the eerie atmosphere. Alright, where shall we start? As I mentioned before, I have suspicious doubts about the I have suspicious I have suspicions about the validity of a number of pieces in my gallery. Perhaps we can start with those. Lead the way. You watch the curator scurry off with Azazel in tow. Left to your own devices, you peruse the art until they return. When they do come back from their mission around the gallery, the curator looks to be on the verge of tears. Again. What did you find? The curator is right. At least a dozen of them are fakes. At this, the man slumps down onto a nearby bench. You, meanwhile, try to ignore his sorrowful display and continue to address Azazel. There has to be more to it than that, right? Now, back to this awesome face. I unironically like this face. I think it suits her really well. Now that you mention it, I did notice something that struck me as odd. Oh? Take this painting here, for example. You watch as the angel approaches a nearby piece, licks her finger, and then swipes it across the surface of the art. Then she props her finger back into her mouth and ponders whatever flavor she lifted off the dusty old canvas. The sight makes you grimace. This painting was done almost exactly 3 weeks ago. You can tell? How? Actually, never mind. I don't want to know. Are you certain? I'd stake my grace on it. Alright, what about the others? In response, Azazel turns and begins to point out all the other fakes in view. That one was 4 weeks ago, that one 2, that one 7, and this one? This one was made just a week ago. This poor fucking dude. I see. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? We've got an art thief on our hands. An art thief! Ooh, just thinking about it gets me all excited. Excited? I mean, deeply concerned. What do you think, Taker? It sounds to me like whoever is taking these pieces needs about a week to make a copy. Then after a new copy is made, they break into the exhibit, replace the painting with their own, and escape with the original. You don't happen to have any security cameras, do you? If we can check the footage, maybe we can start to figure this out. You turn to the curator, but the man silently shakes his head. What kind of fucking museum does not have cameras? That's like asinine to believe. Budget cuts my ass. You can get one of those shitty ass Walmart cameras. Boy, budget cuts haven't been kind to you, have they? The curator sniffles and buries his face in his hands, causing you to immediately regret your comment. Before a single tear can be shed, however. Never fear, Mr. Curator, sir. I've got a plan. You do? You do? That I do. And for it to work, we're going to need 3 of those long-range communication devices. Walkie-talkies. Yes, those. As well as a couple of guard uniforms, some flashlights, and a secluded room. I think I have those, but who's going to wear the uniforms? Why, you two, of course. Then what will you be doing? Oh, don't worry about me. I have my ways of going unnoticed. Before we spring into action, why don't you let us in on that plan of yours, Azazel? All in due time, Mr. Taker. All in due time. Until then, you do trust me, right? Always. Good. Now get suited up and call Lucy to let her know that we won't be home for dinner again. We're camping out in the museum, boys. You exchanged a worried glance with the art curator but the two of you shrug, and as she heads off to the office to acquire the necessary supplies, you whip out your phone. Sometime later, the curator returns and tosses you a guard uniform. This is the biggest one I have. I hope it fits. You hold the shirt up against your chest. It's gonna be a bit tight, but it'll do. Who's Patrick? One of our old security guards. Nice guy. Big, like you. Sadly, he got an acting gig and quit. I wonder what he's doing these days. Gentlemen, focus. I'm assuming that's a reference I don't get. Right, sorry. What's the plan, Azazel? The two of you crowd around to hear Azazel's plan. By the time her explanation is finished, closing time is upon you, and shortly thereafter, the night descends. According to the plan, you and the art curator are dressed up like security guards patrolling the halls in the place of the actual guards who are meant to be on duty tonight. Azazel, meanwhile, has hidden herself elsewhere in the exhibit. Is everyone in position? Her chipper voice echoes out of the contraption on your belt. Yep. Roger. Alright then, commence. Phase 1. The Holy Ghost. At this, you turn to the curator and nod. The two of you set off in opposite directions around the museum. For a while, you see nothing and hear only the clacking of your own shoes against the marble floor. Soon enough, however, your radio begins to buzz. I've spotted him. He's in the... I hate this. This person's name, section heading towards Raphael. Noted. I'm on my way there now. As am I. Hurry, he's quick, but I'm right on his tail. Won't he see you? Not as I am now. I've made myself invisible to the mortal gaze. You can do that? I've spotted him! Excellent. Commence phase 2, the shepherds of the Lord. I'm heading out to the pasture now. Understood. What? As you round the next corner, you hear the sound of hurried footsteps. The thief is on the move. I've spooked him towards the exit. Cut him off if you can. We must get him to the pasture. On it. You loop around in an attempt to cut the thief off from his escape. At the sight of your flashlight beam, you catch the man darting back into the heart of the exhibit. He's headed back to you. I've got Raphael blocked off. Then he's got no choice but to go right to you. I'm in position. Perfect timing. Our sheep is headed towards the pasture. Azazel lets out a low, sinister chuckle, which crackles over the radio. Excellent. Then it's time for phase 3, repentance. You race for the room that you had collectively dubbed the pasture. Before you arrive, however, you hear an anguished shriek echo throughout this exhibit. What's going on? I'm closing in on the room now. I'll let you know what I see. You double your pace and arrive before a shut door. Inside, you can almost hear the pained sound of choir music coupled with sobbing. Blinding light spills out of the room from the crack below the door. Though you hesitate, afraid of what you might witness, your determination nevertheless spurs you to throw open the door. What you see defies your very perception of reality. The fuck am I looking at? Wait a minute, wasn't I supposed to wear a uniform? There is a man on his knees in front of you, facing away from the door you just entered from. His hands are clasped before him, and he's pleading with the being whose visage fills you with such existential dread that you too are brought low. Where's my uniform, man? Come on. In spite of the fact that there's no part of her, it's overtly recognizable. It's overtly recognizable that the being is unmistakably Azazel. For this is her true form. Sir, what do you see? Hello? Though the radio buzzes with the curator's voice, it's little more than background noise when compared to the boom of Azazel's voice. You have stolen and lied. Your actions have brought grief upon your fellow man. Repent and make right what has been done, or I will plague your dreams until your dying day. Yes, I promise I'll make things right. Please don't come to me again. It is done. Go. At that, the thief scampers away, heedless of you or anyone else in his way. You turn away only briefly to watch him go, but a bright flash of light brings your attention forward once more. The being is gone, as Azazel, as you knew her, has returned. Sorry you had to see that, Taker. Is it wise to just let him go like that? Don't worry about it. I'm sure everything will turn out right. You're sure? How can you be so sure? Trust me, if there's one thing we angels are good at, it's terrifying people into living the straight and narrow. Fair enough. You rise and clap the angel on the back. That was a good plan, Azazel. I should really trust you more, shouldn't I? Yes, you should. At this, the angel launches herself at you, hugging you around the middle with such righteous force that it threatens to break you in half. Fortunately, the curator arrives before that can happen. Well, did our plan work? Yeah, I'd say so. What about the thief? We didn't catch him? I wouldn't worry about him. Yeah, after what happened, I don't suspect he'll be back. What about my paintings? I'd say give it about a week, maybe two, Mr. Curator, sir. I'm sure you'll be pleasantly surprised at the benevolence humans are capable of, especially when it's been bored into them by a holy presence. If you say so, I suppose I have no reason to trust you both after everything you've done for me, or not to trust you both after everything you've done for me. What will you do now? Head home. I'm wiped. Me too. Very good. Get some rest, you two. I'll give you a call if anything changes. Before you leave, I should tell you that I've heard we'll be getting a new exhibit within the next couple weeks or so. So it looks like I'll be able to make good on my promise sooner than I thought. We look forward to it. See you later, Mr. Curator, sir. And with that, you and Azazel head out into the night, the memory of this adventure burned into your hearts. Alright, I'm gonna go grab a drink. My throat's killing me. Next we'll do... we got Cerberus, Adrada, Lucifer, and Judgment. I might just do Cerberus. Get them out of the way. Alright. Give me Alright, give me like 5 minutes. I'll be back. That's... There we go. Much better. Must have been moving a lot. Right. So I accidentally clicked on Cerberus's uh, oh. Okay, hold on. I gotta fix the model. There we go. Much better. That's somewhat better. Oh yeah, so this, like I said, this is Cerberus. For the first time in far too long, you found yourself with some free time, unburdened by the needs of the household. After making sure the house wouldn't self-destruct while you did so, you've elected to spend your precious free afternoon catching up on some much-needed sleep. Your sleep is not a peaceful one. However, and disturbing visions swirl around your head like a goldfish in a bowl. Justice joins a professional soccer team backed by cheerleading squad consists of Modius, your college elocution teacher, Mr. Thorndyke, and grandmother Taker herself. Your dreams are soon interrupted, however, by a rather strange rocking sensation accompanied by an all too familiar voice. Wake up! It's talk her. Confusing as your dreams may be, you still fight your hardest to remain asleep as your conscious mind is dredged from the subconscious pits of slumber into the waking world. You open your eyes to see three sets of luminous red orbs staring back at you. Cerberus sits on your bed, one of her three bodies sitting cross-legged upon your chest. She rocks back and forth with the breaths tipping at extreme angles that would topple people with worse balance than hers. Seeing that you're awake, all three bodies break into identical, excited smiles. You're awake! Finally awake! We've been trying to get your attention for a while now. You must have been really tired. I was. Well, technically, I still am. Can I ask why you're here? You can. So, Cerberus, why are you here? The body straddling you beams, leaning in, almost close enough to touch noses. Her voice comes out as an excited whisper, her breath hot on your cheek. It's time to learn the truth. She's been holding out on us all this time, and we've had enough. Today we're taking back what's ours. A small seed of worry plants itself firmly in the back of your mind as you hazard your next question. You're talking about Lucifer, aren't you? You still want to ask her about your bodies? Cerberus nods seriously, her expression growing a shade darker. We feel things the other girls don't. We're more potent. We don't really understand anything about where we came from. Lucifer is the first demon we can remember, so she must have the answers. Only problem is, every time we ask her, she finds a way to avoid answering us. She's trapped us in the laundry room. She trapped us in the laundry room last time. How did she manage that? She made a sign. It distracted us. What sort of sign? It was a very mysterious sign. We couldn't figure out what it meant. What did it say? Only 2 words. Guess what? She locked the door while we were reading it, and we were stuck in there until judgment let us out. Well, that explains the howling that kept you awake last night. We aren't giving up, though. We're going to talk to Lucifer and make her tell us everything. And how do you plan on accomplishing that? Do you really have the raw power to force Lucifer to tell you the truth? Cerberus rolls her eyes in mild frustration. Of course not, dum-dum. That's why we woke you up. We need your help. Come on, come on! The seed of concern has laid down roots and is starting to push leafy tendrils up through your consciousness. Either oblivious or willfully ignorant to your mounting worry, Cerberus herds you out of bed and into your day clothes, her eager hands perhaps a shade too much so. The demoness leads you out of your room onto the 2nd floor landing, talking nonstop. Okay, we've been watching Lucifer very carefully over these past few days. We never scheduled. I'm assuming her name was supposed to pop up. Top to bottom, inside and outside. Ooh, his house with a blue little window. She always comes upstairs for a glass of wine sometime around 3, so that's when we'll strike. We will have the high ground. You don't want to try anything when someone has the high ground. You bite your lip, concerned. So run me through this plan of yours. Lucifer comes walking up the stairs, and then you, opening a small locker by the banister, Cerberus withdraws a tangled gladiator-style weighted net. 2 of her bodies struggle to untangle the mass of porous fabric while the 3rd one turns to continue her lecture. We'll wait up here, just out of sight, then when she comes up the stairs, we net her. Like a fish. A fish that won't talk to us. Imprison the Queen of Hell in a net. This isn't some Saturday morning cartoon, and that little thing won't stop her for more than a couple of seconds. We know, that's why we decided. 2 thin but surprisingly strong arms wrap around your waist. Grunting, Cerberus hoists you off the ground, holding you triumphantly over her head like a deadlift champion. We're going to throw you down after the... Wait, what? We're going to throw you down after that? What does that mean? Oh. We heard Justice saying that Lucifer has a weakness for you. So we're going to use you as our secret weapon. Whoa! Hold up on... Oh. Whoa, hold on there, girls. You can't just pitch me down the stairs. They're African mahogany. Put me down and let's talk about this. Damn, he cares more about the stairs. They are nice looking stairs, though. I'll give them that much. But your efforts are futile. Cerberus bears you inexorably towards the banister, all the while continuing to detail her master plan. Then when you pin her down, and she's all tangled up in the net, we'll ask Lucifer. Ask me what? Cerberus rolls around at the voice, pinwheeling your body through the air. Lucifer stands at the base of the stairs, eyebrow cocked and hands on her hip. And just what are you doing with my taker? The writing in this game is so good. Cerberus drops you onto the ground with an unceremonious thud. You get to your feet, dusting yourself off as Cerberus and her plan Scuppered desperately tries to come up with a good explanation for her behavior. We were playing a game. No, wait, Taker saw a spider and he was super scared, and Cerberus visibly deflates in the face of Lucifer's steely gaze. Her prolific excuses diminish to a barely audible mutter as she averts her gaze, gathering herself to address Lucifer in Cerberus' stead. Yo, dude, why you calling him out like that? It's alright, Lucy. We were just horsing around. Cerberus got into the WWE tapes again and wanted to try performing a backbreaker. Why are you calling them out, man? Lucifer makes her way up to the stairs, eyeing the two of you suspiciously. In a blur of motion, one of Cerberus' bodies darts forward, brandishing the net, and you have barely enough time to stick out your leg, sending her tumbling head over heels into the banister. She hits the wood with a crash, struggling to extricate herself from the net, and as she thrashes around, you privately admit that you underestimated the mesh webbing. Unaware of the finer points of the drama unfolding on the landing, Lucifer crests the top of the stairs, turning her gaze on you. Lucifer's voice comes out in a dangerous monotone. One more chance to explain. What are you doing? I'm not in the mood for jesting or playing around, so if I don't like your answer... She lets the threat hang there, unspoken but unmistakable in its intent. You cast a questioning glance at Cerberus, who nods wordlessly, steeling herself. You place your hand on her shoulders and turn back to Lucifer. Lucy, we have some things we need to talk with you about. We were disagreeing on how exactly to get your attention when you showed up. Lucifer's content softens of touch, and she puts her hand on the bridge of her nose, sighing deeply. You and the rest of the household. Well, whatever it is, it shall have to wait until later. I have a job for the two of you that can't wait. From a pouch at her waist, Lucifer withdraws 4 sticks of railroad chalk. Fanning them out, she offers one of them to you and the rest of Cerberus. I've decided our home security is in much need of some refurbishment. Cameras and locks won't be enough to deter a demonic assault. We're going to need something much sturdier than what we currently have. And your solution is chalk? In a sense, I wish for you to draw me a ritual circle that would allow me to better ward the house from attack. Reaching into her back pocket, the Queen of Hell withdraws a small piece of paper, upon which is traced a solid-looking, asymmetrical sigil. This is Gotian glyph of Halpas. It acts as a sort of battery, through which we can channel magic into static objects. I need you to trace this around the outside of the house. Once you finish drawing it, Justice and Judgment will be able to channel some of their considerable power into the glyphs to buffer our defenses. Do this for me, and I will consider honoring your request. Do we have a deal? Yes. Oh, good. I must depart. I have much to do, and increasingly sparse amounts of time to do it in. Departing, Lucifer leaves the two of you pondering the lengthy task ahead of you. After a moment of contemplation, Cerberus speaks. Just who does she think she is? Imitating Lucifer's often lofty manner of speech, one of Cerberus' bodies addresses the other two in eerie pantomime. So sorry, but I just can't be bothered to talk to you, Cerberus. Maybe if you do an extra good job working for me, I might consider giving you the time of day. She turns back to you. She didn't even say she would hear us out, mind you. Whatever the others say about us, we do pay attention. Sometimes, that is. You shake your head, mildly impressed. I will say her ability to wrap people up in her plans is commendable. Her ascension to the throne seems more and more believable every day. Cerberus says nothing. Her faces sport identical scowls of irritation. Perhaps now isn't the best time to compliment Lucifer's abilities. Let's try to get this chore over and done with. We can make plans and work at the same time. We have to. You let the silence answer for you, and Cerberus rolls her eyes. However, she follows you outside without further complaint. Okay. People over there. Once outside, you quickly settle into a rhythm, making sign after sign on the house's exterior. After studying Lucifer's diagram for a moment, Cerberus sets to work alongside you. Really now? Doesn't look that way to me. Working in perfect sync with herself, she soon manages to coat a significant stretch of the house with a densely packed layer of sigils. The two of you chat as you work, Cerberus' speaking body changing as she rotates around you, chalking in symbols. Taker, do you have a purpose? Purpose? Like a thing I'm meant to do? Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not sure I do, Cerberus. I can't think of any one particular goal in my life. I, I can't think of any one particular goal my life would be incomplete without. Is that what you mean? Yeah. I guess the closest thing I have would be my ties to you and the other girls. What about you? What do you think your purpose is? We aren't sure. Zadrada and Melina have their mortal vices, and justice and judgment both like seeing jobs through to the end. The window above you opens, and Lucifer pokes her head out. A mostly empty bottle of wine dangles from her fingertips. Looks like Cerberus' prediction was right on the money. After you're done, run along to the store to pick me up some more of this Chante Sanguini, won't you? This bottle's almost dry. Without waiting for a reply, Lucifer withdraws her head, shutting the window behind her. Cerberus punches the side of the house, her blow cracking the old brickwork. And that old goat will never be happy unless she's telling someone what to do. We're not a servant to be ordered around, or some pet to be fondled at her leisure. Why do we have to do her dirty work? If it's independence you want, I'm sure we can negotiate too. But Cerberus is already shaking her head at your suggestion. No, we don't want independence. We just want a direct answer from her. You keep saying you want answers, but I'm still in the dark as to what that means to you. All the other demons understand their place in the world, in the world order. They have a purpose, and that purpose exerts a strong pull on their character. We don't know what that feels like, what our purpose is. Sometimes we get these flashes, a certain urgency to do something, but there's no feeling of fulfillment or purpose to it. Hang on, I just realized, what the fuck is this? Is this just for the tires? Like, is this like asphalt shit just for the tires? Until we saw Maman threatening you in the park. That is... It's like reaching back to scratch an itch, but realizing halfway through that the source of the itching is buried deep in our skin. That's the worst kind of itch. That's what it felt like when I got close to Maman. Like there was purpose in me being there. Apart from you saving me, you mean? Well, it's complicated. But it felt like the two were connected in some way. We got this incredible feeling when we pounced on her in the park, and again when we chased her down the alley. We felt like we could have fought her forever and never gotten bored. Do you really think your purpose is tied with Maman in some way? Cerberus nods after a moment's thought. Yes, we do. And we think Lucifer knows the specifics and still won't share them with us. We've been doing some thinking, and we have something important to ask you on the subject of our benevolent queen. Do you trust Lucifer's intentions? Do you really think she wants what's best for the rest of us? Ooh. That's a hard one. I feel like she does, but she doesn't, if that makes any sense. We'll say yes. Yes, I do. She might be manipulatory, secretive, and dangerous to oppose, but I think she has our best interests at heart, by extension at least. Her fortune is as tied to ours as ours is to hers, and I trust her in her ability to remain self-interested. How can you still trust her? How can you still trust in her after everything you've seen? After she's made it perfectly clear that she doesn't care for our peace of mind? It's not quite as simple as trust, but I believe that Lucifer doesn't perform actions directly. That's what I'm thinking. Like she knows what it takes. If she's keeping secrets from us, there's likely a good reason for it. We may not understand it right now, but there may be an excellent reason for her keeping us in the dark. Don't think that'll stop us from approaching Lucifer, though. We will find our purpose. But what if finding your purpose means surrendering your agency? Surrendering? How so? Well, is it really worth knowing your purpose if knowing your purpose dictates your actions? All three of the demons' bodies cock their heads at you. Come again? You sound like those angry old guys we used to torment in hell, the ones with the funny white dresses. I remember they used to call Lucifer by a different name. Hey something or other. Old men in white dresses. Were they philosophers? That's it. Philosophers. You sound just like them, talking in circles like your words are spaghetti noodles. Well, in simple terms, then. Would knowing what you are supposed to do compromise your freedom to choose for yourself? Do demons have free will? Free will? Yes. Do demons possess the ability to think and do things outside of prescription and habit? To change the world around them in unprecedented ways? Like with fire? Ooh, we're good at fire. Watch. I'll give you an example. One that doesn't carry a burn risk. You finish tracing the most recent symbol on the side of the house. You examine it for a minute before setting the chalk aside. Reaching out, you smudge at the symbol with your finger, marring the surface of the protective glyph and compromising its shape. I told Lucifer that we would ring the house in these markings for her, and it is my nature to hold to the promises I make. However, should I choose to, I could freely sabotage the work I'm doing and put us all in danger. Now, obviously I won't do that, but the freedom to choose right from wrong remains nonetheless. As you repair the damage done to the sigil, Cerberus furrows her brow, trying to make sense of what you've just said. I don't see why anyone would want to be able to make wrong choices. Well, some people don't. Some people live their entire life with precepts telling them what they can and can't do. And that's a choice as well, I suppose. This game's getting fucking deep, man. But even if a choice may not be in the human's best interest, we are free to make the choice to the best of our abilities. Traveling to hell in search of a harem? Now that was a choice that I made that was probably not in my best interest, but I had a dream that I was willing to risk my life to see through. A dream, huh? You say you want to corrupt the mortal world? You say that you want to discover more about yourself, but how do you want those things to come about? Outcasts like Maman already seem to have a firm rooting in this world. If you wanted to, you could leave for hell this very day, relatively confident that the earth will twist toward corruption without your hands in the affair. But we don't want that. Cerberus looks up at you, her eyes shining with epiphany. We want to be the ones to do that. So I challenge you with one final question. How do you want to go about learning more about yourself? Do you really believe you'll be happy with the information you get from Lucifer if dictated your purpose from this point forward, or would you rather seek out the truth and discover who you are along the way? Mulling your question over, Cerberus spends the rest of the chore in stolid silence. As you finally sketch the last of the sigils on the front door of the house, she speaks. Even if the knowledge might be tricky to accept, we owe it to ourselves to try and draw it out. Yeah, we aren't afraid of anything. Reaching out a hesitant finger, Cerberus moves closer towards the sigil of the door. Half an inch from the surface, her fingers run into an invisible barrier. She pushes forward regardless, sweat beading on her forehead as her two other bodies move to support her arm and guide it forwards. We don't know where we came from or how we came to be. If Lucifer won't tell us, not properly anyways, then we do know someone who might. Someone who knew enough about us to stop us in our tracks, who I bet we could convince to spill any secret she may be carrying. Cerberus looks up at you, a predatory glint in her crimson eyes. Hey, Taker, how about we go Mammon hunting again this weekend? Ignoring the sinking feeling in your stomach, you put on a smile. Sounds great, Cerberus. Alright, so we got Zadrada, then Judgment and Lucifer. We'll do Zadrada. In light of recent events, Lucifer has called a house meeting over dinner. Of the demons who are attending, only Melina is missing. You made an extra rare Salisbury steak in hopes of placating some of the less happy demons, or at least giving them an outlet. The gnashing of the meat does little to dissuade the Queen of Hell, whose voice cuts through the commotion like a knife. I've brought you all here tonight to speak on an important issue. As many of you now know, Lucifer inclines her head towards Cerberus, who does not meet her gaze, or in some cases, have witnessed firsthand. The former archdemon of greed, Mammon, has been spotted in the area. Mammon is one of the 4 dethroned lords of hell, expelled by justice and ice some 600 years ago. That was back in the good old days. I remember I took Abaddon, the Slothful, on a winner-take-all punch-out. After their defeat, we stripped them of all but their most basic powers and churned them out of hell and into the mortal plane. You can't be seriously concerned about Mammon. As far as the Akashic records are concerned, she gave up without a fight after a decisive victory of justice over Abaddon. If Cerberus and Taker can handle her, surely she poses no credible threat to the rest of us. Cerberus casts a miserable glance your way. Obviously, the rest of the assembled demons have yet to hear the specifics of your ill-fated last counter with Mammon. On the contrary, the appearance of Mammon has me greatly concerned, more so even than the appearance of the other demon lords. Mammon's a coward, through and through, which means her business is backed up by one or more of the other demon lords. But you said you stripped her powers away. Even united, how could they harm us? Lucifer shakes her head. Though it pains me to admit, I do not know. However, their leader, Sathanas, has an incredibly wrathful nature. Her spite is not to be underestimated, at any cost. Justice puts a hand on Lucifer's shoulder, but the Queen of Hell brushes it off impatiently. Regardless of the practical threat they pose, I know their goals to be singular. They want to reclaim what I took for them so long ago. They want the throne of hell. To rule in brimstone and anarchy as they once did 666 years ago. Stopping them is crucial. If we... Lucifer is cut off by an unnecessarily noisy call from across the table. Flanked by Cerberus, Zadrada smirks as she stubs out a smoldering butt of her cigarette on her outstretched tongue. Knitting Lucifer's eyes full on, Zadrada speaks her piece. Yeah, we. You keep using that word, but funny thing, I can't really see what this has to do with the rest of us, boss. Oh, shit. Ow. We're all in this together, Zadrada. Oh. Zadrada shoots to her feet, slamming her palms down on the old wooden table. Wrong. This isn't about us. This is about you. About you keeping hold of your power. A couple sympathetic murmurs, mostly from Cerberus, sound from the rest of the table. It looks like Zedrada's words have struck resonant nerves among the assembled demons. Let her talk. You sit back in your seat, maybe under pressure from the table. Lucifer will let something slip. Or you sit, okay. Before I took the throne of hell, there was nothing but anarchy. The 4 demon lords were content to let the rest of hell churn, a primordial cauldron where only the strong survived. Nobody asked you to come and take over hell, you know. You and your cohort all thought you were so forward-thinking, but the moment you actually got some power, it all went to your head. Why, you ungrateful whelp. Under my guidance, hell ran like a well-oiled machine. Might as well no longer the sole provider of right. Me and my sister's life weren't easier under your oh-so-benevolent rule. Far from empowering us, your insurrection stripped me of my only method of taking care of those around me. Zedrada sits back in her chair, arms folded definitely. And now you want us to act as your shields. I ain't deaf, and I've heard the stories about your ascent to the throne. Let me assure you, I ain't planning on falling on any blade meant for you. Fuck that, and fuck you. I don't take orders from falling despots. Lucifer takes a deep breath, turning away from Zedrada. She addresses the table at large. Assemble demons, leave the room. I wish to speak in private with Zedrada. Cerberus moves to protest, but is quickly silenced by the combined efforts of judgment and justice. Nodding to Lucifer, Justice sees the other demons exit the room before squeezing your shoulder reassuringly. Try to keep him from throwing down in the kitchen, okay? It's my night to do the wash-up. Leaving you feeling rather drastically unprepared for whatever is about to happen, Justice leaves the room, closing the door behind her. Taking a deep breath, Lucifer addresses her staunch critic. It appears you still have yet to learn humility in the presence of your social betters. Seeing as we have a common cause, I'm willing to let this slide once. In exchange, you shall. With a viper-quick sweep of her hands, Zedrada hurls her glass of wine at Lucifer's head. Fortunately for both parties, her aim is off course. The glass misses Lucifer by a good 6 inches before hitting the far wall and exploding into crystalline shards. I shall do as I always have, exactly what I please. Lucifer jumps to her feet, her face burning red. Ooh. Insubordination. If we were back in hell, I'd have you publicly flayed for such arrogance. Zedrada barks out a harsh laugh, but her soldiers are tensed, ready to launch another assault if Lucifer shows any signs of making good on her threat. Don't threaten me with a good time, boss. Besides, you really can't do shit to command us in this world. The others may follow you out of some kind of psychopathic loyalty, but this here gal knows what she's worth. And I ain't really looking to be your bottom bitch here on Earth. That's why you sent them away, ain't it? You don't want them to see that you can't back up your threats outside of hell. You're clinging to the hope that either their fear or respect of you is enough to keep them in line. Well, I've got bad news for you, Queenie. We're running dry on both accounts. Stop! By my authority as the Queen of Goddamn Hell, I command you to stay. Zedrada hesitates by the door, poised to leave. Shrugging, she turns around to launch one final acerbic barb at Lucifer before turning once more and departing. Or what? If you could have stopped me, you'd have done so already. Ciao, losers. Silence reigns for a full minute in the room. Lucifer does not meet your gaze, and she's clenching her hands so tightly her knuckles have gone white. Lucy, don't worry. In a single feral motion, Lucifer sweeps her hand upwards, bringing them crashing down onto the table with terrible force. Cracks radiate outwards from the impact. The sturdy wood of the table is no match for Lucifer's temper. Still breathing heavily, Lucifer screws her eyes shut. Slowly, over the course of the next few moments, she pulls herself together. Her breathing slows. Her hands unclench. Eventually, her eyes open again, still seething with repressed frustration. When her words finally return to her, they come slowly, barely making it through her tightly clenched teeth. Ooh, shit. Impulsive as always. That woman still thinks her agenda is the only one that matters. Remind me again why you decided to bring her along. Placate. I'm not entirely sure what goes through her head half the time. She never shares her eternal strife. I feel like if I chastise her, she was gonna fucking murder my ass. There we go. Alright. Lucifer nods, finishing the thought. Unless she can inflict it upon those around her. A fact her sisters learned only too well. Still, this is excessive, even for her. I can only wonder what's causing her to lash out like this. Truth be told, at any other point, it wouldn't concern me. However, recent events have caused me to evaluate my priorities. Are you talking about the existence of other demons on Earth? Indeed. We need to be aware of possible attempts to divide us. And though it pains me to admit, we need Zadrada on our side if it comes to blows. We're in agreement then. She needs to be brought around. I'll go talk with her and learn what I can. Perhaps there's more to her current state than we'd realize. Lucifer steeples her fingers, peering over them and across the table at you. It's not only Zadrada. We need to close ranks. And a fondness for you seems to be the only thing we all have in common. If the four are seeking to hurt me, there'll be an extension by looking to hurt you. I'll see what I can do. Time is of the essence. I'll keep the rest of the girls busy so they won't interfere with your talk with Zadrada, wherever you choose to have it. I gotta talk to her now. I might as well tackle the largest problem first. I'll head out to talk to Zadrada. Pausing only to place your dishes in the dishwasher, you once more make your way out to Zadrada's old camper. Stomping a foot on the entrance, you extend your hand to it and rap politely on the painted chipped frame of the screen door. Zadrada, you and I need to have a little talk. This time no answer comes from the disheveled abode. Curious, you peer inside one of the windows. Zadrada is nowhere to be seen. The only sign of her is a cigarette butt poking out of an overflowing ashtray. It's still gleaming and smoking a trail of wispy gray gently upwards toward to join the smoggy miasma that perpetually clouds the roof of Zadrada's living space. We can enter. Wincing at the squeak of the rusty hinges make, you push the door aside and enter the camper. You pick your way over the carpet of knickknacks and rubbish, investigating what little mystery the camper can hold. It doesn't take long before your initial suspicion is confirmed. Zadrada is absent from the camper. You poke around a little more, looking for any clues to her current location, when something catches your eye. A covered object, roughly the size of a small tea kettle, stands at the center of the unusually clear table. Curiosity overflowing you, you turn towards it, reaching for the small sackcloth obscuring the item from your view. Without warning, a horrible screeching sound, like someone cutting through sheet metal with a pair of scissors, thunders throughout the cabin. You throw yourself to the ground, trying in vain to minimize the sound by clapping your hands over your ears, but the horrible sound pierces right through your hands, as though they aren't even there, lashing you with wave after wave of noise. Then, as suddenly as it started, the sound disperses, leaving the room in relative quiet. 5 deep marks have been gouged into the window of the camper. The parallel lines have been cut deep into the glass, almost as if. With dawning comprehension, you put your own hand up to the markings, comparing them. The cuts mirror your fingers in shape, if not in size, confirming your theory. Someone or something has raked razor-sharp nails down the side of the camper. Out in the darkness, something moves. From the edge of the clearing, a black shape emerges. By now, it's too dark to make out clearly out the object, but whatever it is, it suddenly begins moving towards the trailer at a breakneck speed. You fumble around in the cabin, searching for something, anything, to use as a weapon. You pick up a folding chair and holding it like a professional wrestler, prepared to brain whatever ravenous monster is about to enter the camper. Zadrada burst through the door, diving to the ground just in time to avoid your impulsive swing with the chair. Rolling over, she kicks the door closed with one boot before crawling up the frame, slamming the deadbolt into place. She looks up at you, breathing heavily, and gestures at the chair still gripped in your hand. Never would have thought of using a chair for foreplay. You cracked me up, Taker. Zadrada, I'm so sorry. I thought you were... Yeah, I figured as much. Which, by the way, is why you currently aren't a pile of cinders joining the ash on my rug. Feeling foolish, you drop the chair. Did you see anything out there? No, but I sure as hell sensed it. Something big's out there, in the woods. I ain't one to shirk from a fight, but... For a second, a rare emotion crosses Zadrada's face. Uncertainty. The expression disappears as quickly as it had arrived, and Zadrada closes her eyes, as if listening intently. After a moment, she speaks. I don't sense it anymore. Whatever it is, it's gone for now. No point splitting hairs over it. Striding over to the card table, Zadrada plucks a covered object from the surface, sliding it under her bed as she moves to join you on the floor. Offering no explanation, Zadrada lights herself a cigarette, now at ease. So what brings you to my home this time? And if you say because of Lucifer, fair warning, I'm gonna hurl. I came to see if you're doing alright. You've been far more aggressive, and well, Zadrada, than usual. That sentence doesn't seem like it makes any sense. What can I say? I've got a rep to maintain. Which is exactly why I'm here alone. Plausible deniability. No one to corroborate my story, so why don't you spill the beans, Zadrada? What have you been keeping secret about all this time? Zadrada looks at you, exuding an emotion that you can't quite place. She takes a long drag on her cigarette, puffing out a cloud of smoke before she replies. Fine, you want help so bad? I ain't about to stop you, but this stays between the two of us. If just one person in this house hears about this, I'll lie to Pandamonica and tell her you whack off into her morning... It's fucked up, man. I'll tell Pandamonica you whack off into her morning coffee. That is a nuclear approach, yes, but I promise. What happened in this trailer stays in this trailer. Satisfied with your answer, Zadrada turns around, rummaging under her bed for the object she had so recently stowed away. After a moment of grabbing for it, Zadrada extracts her hands from underneath the bed, a small ugly pot clenched gently between her hands. Inside the pot is a familiar prickly shape. It's the cactus. That's the cactus we got from the gardening center, but I thought Melina threw that away. Zadrada lets out a snort hiss of frustration. She did. After the two of you went to bed, I went to fish it out of the trash. I mended the pot as best as I could, but Zadrada turns the pot to catch the moonlight filtering through the shutters. In the light, you can see the cactus is missing a significant portion of its stem. Oh, my throat's killing me. Yellowed veins cut out from the water source run outwards from the mangled base of the spiny plant. I don't think I can fix this. Head lowered in something resembling shame, Zadrada extends her arm, pressing the pot on you. Fix it, please. I've been trying, but I'm no good at keeping things alive. I must be messed up somehow, but you can save it, right? It's a fucking cactus. It takes a while to kill those things. Gingerly, you take the ill-mended little pot from Zadrada and peer at the plant inside. The little cactus isn't doing too well. The impact from Melina throwing it against the wall had ruptured its stem, nearly cutting it in two. Okay, never mind. With both halves, while both halves were still connected by a thin band of fiber, it was obvious, even to an untrained eye, that the cacti's time on this planet was coming to an end. It's dying. Don't you think I can see that? I just look, she's got a shit ton of cigarettes and a nasty moldy burrito. I've tried everything. Everything! Herbal remedies, sunshine, experimental fertilizer, but it just keeps dying. Is it too much to ask for something that'll stay with me? For something that I know won't just up and leave me behind one of these days? Her shoulders slump. If I can't even convince this plant that I'm worth sticking around, what am I even doing with you and the rest of the house? Is this really about the plant? Yes? No. This is so confusing. I'm not used to this sort of self-reflection. The heavy impact startles Adrada out of her meditation. Both of you turn towards the entrance of the trailer. The door rattles with another thump. That's strange. Lucifer told me she was taking the rest of the girls out of our way. Is there an emergency at the house? You reach for the door and Zadrada shoots to her feet, her eyes suddenly wide with alarm. Oh, wow. Take her, wait! Don't open that! Too late. The door is already partway open by the time you catch what Zadrada is trying to tell you. Your attempts to reseal the door interrupted by a slender hand forcing its way through the open crack. Gripping the frame, the hand pushes hard. Though you struggle and leverage every bit of your bulk trying to prevent the door from opening, the effort is like trying to hold back a landslide. Slowly you give ground, and eventually you surrender the losing battle, leaving back to Zadrada's side, and you prepare yourself as the door opens. On the other side of the door, bathed in moonlight, stands a strange demon. The first thing you notice about her is her size. She's a full head shorter than Melina, making her the smallest demon you've seen by far. The second thing you notice about her is her horns, rigid and thin. Holy shit, dude. These third chapters are so long. Partially making up the height difference. Stand up like skewers. God, I don't normally talk this much. The strange demon smiles an altogether too wide smile and lightly skips over the door frame. Thanks for finally letting me in. I've been trying to get your attention all night. Who are you? And what are you doing in her house? The demon sneers at you before lowering her knee and curtsying to Zadrada, her face a porcelain mask of false innocence. I'm Belphegor, but my friends call me Belle. That name sounds familiar, and suddenly it clicks. God, I feel like my jaw's broken or something. Holy shit. Ah, wow, 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 wow. Okay, hold on. Home dude keeps falling down. Okay. Lucifer mentioned your name. You're one of the deposed lords of hell. Belphegor wags a finger at you reproachfully. Oop, oop, oop. Introduce yourself to a lady before you start groveling at her feet, Gorilla Man. Who does this brat think she is? Helltaker. The hell is silent. And I'm... Zedrada is cut short by Belphegor, who twirls excitedly on the spot. Zedrada, I know. I used to tune into your fights on the Hellivision. You were quite a pit brawler back in the day. A girl after my own heart. Really? Oh, thanks. You aren't liking this. Every moment Belphegor spends talking is a moment a trap could be closing around you. You decide to get to the point. Gotta get some air in here. Come to deliver some kind of threat, then? If that's the case, you should have brought the rest of your cronies. I hope you guys can't hear that. You probably can. Damn. That fan's loud. Don't need him. I'm more than enough to take you all you guys on. Striding forward, Zedrada leans over, patting the demon on the head as one would a precious child. You can't lie to us. We know you're just a shell of the demon you used to be, short stack. So why don't you take this comedy routine and mosey on down the road, Belphegor reaches up and lays a hand across Zedrada's wrist, gripping it loosely. I'll say this once, 'cause I'm nice. Don't make fun of my size. Her fingers tighten and Zedrada winces before Belphegor gently removes the taller demon's hand from her head. Belphegor beams up at Zedrada as if nothing had just happened. I'm here because I want to offer you the deal of a lifetime. God, that fan sounds like it's on its last legs. Won't a deal be more mamonshtik as the demon of greed? Belphegor's nose wrinkles as if she just smelled something particularly unpleasant. More like the demon of being a crybaby loser. Once more, Belphegor plasters a cheery expression on her face and she resumes her pitch. You're a woman of impulse. Freedom. I like that. Why don't you dump Queen Bitch and the Incredible Gorilla Man and come and shack up with me instead? Your talents are obviously wasted here, and I really need a strong lieutenant. You need me? Belphegor clasps Zedrada's hand between her own, nodding enthusiastically. Of course, silly. Both of us are way ahead of our time. Both created to indulge in physical, distinctly mortal vices. Have you ever wondered why your magic works so well here? There's no end to the gluttony we can indulge in nowadays. Zedrada. Oh, in a flash, Belphegor crosses the distance between you, grasping your shirt with deceptively powerful hands. Belphegor hoists you off the ground with no apparent difficulty. Quiet, ape. Let the lady make the decision for herself. That's some scary artwork. Struggle or struggle. Oh shit. That's pretty scary. First animation we've seen outside of the select screen. You wriggle like a landed fish, trying to wrench yourself from Belphegor's grasp, but the former Lord of Hell only laughs. A strange chittering noise that reminds you of cicadas in summertime. Looking up at your struggles, Belphegor licks her lips, her smile widening. Ooh, Maman didn't lie. You're pretty cute up close. What? I am? Damn. Good enough to eat, even. Maybe there is room for you back at my place, depending on what Zedrada chooses, of course. Turning her back on the two of you, Zedrada lights a cigarette with a snap of her fingers. Inhaling deeply, the inevitable exhilaration of smoke is accompanied by a deep belly laugh. What's with this VA acting? You think you can just waltz in here with your holier-than-thou attitude, manhandle my man, and expect me just to bend over and take it? Sorry, but you must have gotten the wrong memo. I ain't fixin' to be anyone's bottom bitch. Threatening Taker won't persuade me either. Man traveled to hell and back, in case you didn't know. So I seriously doubt a pipsqueak like you can convince him, or threaten him. Belphegor's eyes dilate in sudden fury. Pivoting around on one foot, she cocks back the hand wound into your blazer. Do not call me Pipsqueak. Whirling on the spot, she hurls you into the door of the camper. The old rusted hinges snap under the impact, sending both you and the door flying across the backyard. You hit the ground with a thump and roll several times before you manage to arrest your momentum. You manage to get your bearings and look back at the camper where Belphegor is peering curiously out at you. Steam is boiling off Zedrada's hand. You can tell she's only seconds away from launching an offensive of her own. I hope that didn't mash him up too badly. I hate picking shards of bone out of my meat. Eat shit. Flame cloaks Zedrada's hand, closing into a small nova in her right palm. Rolling her shoulders, Zedrada sweeps her arm forward, sending the ball of flame blazing towards Belphegor. Aw, protecting your man. How cute. Raising one head, the twin-tailed angel demon intercepts the fireball. White-hot flames cascade from her outstretched fingers, leaving unharmed by the blow. Smoke billows up from the old dusty carpet. Whoopsie, you should really be more careful when using fire. It has a tendency to get out of hand. Even as she speaks, flames begin to spread over the floor, licking over the detritus that covers the camper like 100 hungry tongues. Detritus. Snatching up the pounded cactus with her free hands, Zedrada calls out to where you lay, still crumpled on the grass. Shit. Hey, Taker, where do you keep the fire stick? Her head towards you, Zedrada doesn't even have time to react to Belphegor's movements. In a single blazingly fast moment, the little demon delivers a vicious sucker punch to Zedrada's ribs. The impact snaps out in a concussive blast, and Zedrada is sent flying out of her home, landing in a heap alongside you. The flames have reached the curtains, snacking up the ancient fabric and filling the little mobile home with smoke. From out of the flames, eyes glow. Steps Belphegor, clutching something in her hand. Damn. We got 2 CGs? That's actually pretty scary. Like that face and that artwork, it's really terrifying. As she stalks towards you, ashen white hair silhouetted against the inferno the camper has become, she sings to herself. Poor little taker, gonna meet your maker, a wonderful treat for Belle to eat. Kneeling down, Belphegor picks you up by your hair, appraising your condition with a practiced eye. Fuck. Really? I just read that first sentence. Normally I prefer my snacks post-coitus, but you don't look like you're in any shape to put on a good show. Her mouth gapes wide, revealing rows upon rows of razor-pointed teeth. Bon appetit. Belle, hold on a minute. At the sound of the voice, Belphegor growls in irritation. Turning from you, she turns back to address a familiar figure lounging against the burning trailer. Oh, the weakling that wants to step in and stop me from having my fun. You're welcome to try it. You're welcome to come try it, Maman. We have our new orders from the boss. She says the man might be useful in negotiations. He's off limits, Belle, at least for now. Belphegor relinquishes her grip on your hair, letting gravity carry you none too gently to the ground. Fuming, she spins to face Maman, seizing on to her moldy coat. Belphegor hoists the lanky demon into the air, in much the same manner she did you. Your leash is becoming too chafed, Maman. Let's not forget who calls the shots here. Whoa there, easy, comrade of mine. Let's just put Maman down nice and gentle now. I won't intervene again, you have my word. Please put me down, Belphegor. Belphegor smiles sweetly at the suspended demon, and you see her knuckles whiten as she tightens her grip. Groveling, really now? Have you no pride as a demon? And to think I once considered you an equal. We can't be blessed with your remarkably indiscriminate taste, Belphegor. The rest of us prefer quality over quantity. Is that so? And this revelation comes from a do-nothing loser with no knowledge of either, so I just know it can be trusted. Be that as it may, is it really worth pissing off Adonis off just for a moment of indulgence? With a snarl, Belphegor drops Maman to the ground. Turning back to you for a moment, you think she'll lunge for you to finish the job, but Belle eventually appears to assert some manner of control over herself. Smoothing the creases out of her skirt, she turns and walks past Maman and into the forest. Nice playing with you, Taker. Maman, I'm leaving. Play your boring politics if you must. Maman takes a step backwards, cringing away from the petite demon as she walks by. Even as Belphegor departs the scene, Maman's eyes warily follow her until she disappears out of sight. Bending down, Maman offers you a hand, pulling you to your feet with little in the way of apparent effort. So suddenly we're all buddy-buddy? You better start talking fast. The others should be coming home any minute, and you don't want to be here when they arrive. I thought they were home, but they were just occupied. Maman grins and opens her mouth, presumably to lance you with a nettling retort. But after a moment's thought, she closes it again. She shakes her head and looks you dead in the eye. This isn't how things were supposed to go, enemy mine. Like hell, we're intimidated by a malformed little runt. Zadrada's tirade is... Oh. Wait, what? Zadrada's tirade is halted by the hand Maman forces over her mouth. Kneeling down, the lanky demon shakes her lightly. Are you as dense as you look? Little gal, Belle likes you, but if you can't keep your tongue on a leash around her, she's liable to rip it out. Zadrada growls at the other demon and bites down on her hand, causing Maman to jerk away. Fine. On your own head be it, then. Massaging her freshly injured hand, Maman turns to you. Tell Lucifer that if she doesn't give us what's ours, today is just the beginning. She has 1 week to meet our terms, or there'll be hell to pay. With that ominous pronouncement, Maman leaves the scene. Turning to Zadrada, you see her cradling the cactus in her hand, Miraculously, the pot survived the flight from the burning trailer. However, the plant inside looks even worse for wear, the flickering of the slowly receding fires casting an unhealthy pallor over the little cactus. We'll save it. Zadrada looks over at you, a glimmer of hope creeping into her eyes. I promise we'll do everything we can to save it. If I have to go back to hell to wrench the soul of that plant from the infernal pits, I'll do it. That'd be pretty cool if, like, you do this, you do all as Zadrada and you play Helltaker and, you know, and it's puzzle form to save this plant. That'd be pretty funny. Zadrada gives a small sad chuckle and wipes away her eyes, trying in vain to disguise the moisture building up in them. You really are dumb, you know that? But thanks. Holy shit, that was so long. I have a feeling Lucifer's is gonna be a damn eternity. Okay, I just hers. We did her. We did you, right? Yep. We did justice. We checked that. Alright, I have a feeling I should do judgment because I feel like Lucifer's is gonna be an eternity. We'll do Lucifer. Oh. Oh, so I have to do judgment. The people at the Butterfly Conservatory were so grateful for your donation they decided to make your visits a regular thing. From then on, you frequently took time to cut up a few tubs of fruit and drive it over as you were out running errands. Every so often, Judgment joins you in the kitchen, but these occurrences are rare, leaving you with much time to yourself. You ruminate on what Justice said to you until you find yourself able to muster up the courage to talk to Judgment about the situation. As it were, the very day you decide to ask her about her past just so happens to be one of those occasions in which she joins you in the kitchen to cut up fruit. Say, Judgment? What is it, mortal? I was wondering if today you'd like to come with me to drop all this off at the conservatory. You don't have to go in with me, of course, but I thought it might be fun to swing by the park after. Maybe we could go for a walk and grab some ice cream? The demon narrows her eyes at you. You can tell she's suspicious of your intentions. Nevertheless, very well. So long as I'm not forced to endure the presence of those infernal fluttering insects, I will gladly accompany you. You smile, but before you can return your attention to the task at hand, you hear a rustling at your back. Did someone say ice cream? Odious. Sorry, Taker. We couldn't help but overhear. We? Odious steps through the doorway, followed by Cerberus. They all crowded sheepishly in the doorway. Can we come for ice cream too? Well, yes, that would be satisfactory. What is it you humans say? The more the merrier. Yay! Ice cream! Yeah. Let's just finish up here and then we'll head out. The women all nod enthusiastically before disappearing into the living room to wait. Meanwhile, you and Judgment finish up in silence before packing everything up and taking it all out into the car. Odious and Cerberus pile into the back seat while Judgment sits next to you up front. With just a glance, you notice that Judgment has donned her spike gauntlets once again. It looks like today won't go as smoothly as you hoped. In any case, you swing by the Butterfly Conservatory and drop off the snacks you and Judgment cut up today. Then you park the car and get ready for a day at the park. Ice cream first? You look to Judgment. The demon shrugs. Sure, let's all go get some ice cream first. Yay! The four of them race off toward the stand. Judgment lingers behind, and you decide to stick by her. Hey, speak your mind already, mortal. You've been acting odd today. Yeah, sorry. Well, is everything okay? Judgment glares at you. Yes? Why wouldn't everything be okay? No reason. It's just that... Hey, what flavor do you guys want? Do they have mint chocolate chip per chance? I don't know, let me check. What about you, Taker? I'll take a triple scoop of vanilla chocolate and strawberry. Ew. Got it. As Modius races off to order the ice cream, you turn back to Judgment. Before you can continue your previous conversation, however, Hey, Judgment, they do have mint chip. Do you want single, double, or triple? Double. Got it. Come on and get 'em. Or come and get 'em. Before you can so much as get a word in, Judgment shoots a wary glance, then jogs off to join the others. Deflated, you follow along. Before you know it, Modius and Judgment are walking through the park, savoring your ice creams and watching as Cerberus races at Mach 5 through the grass. She sure finished hers fast. Did she even taste it? Surely not. She just about inhaled it, cone and all. Perhaps we shouldn't have approved 3 scoops each. But she made such a compelling argument. Compelling or not, now we have a sugar-hype demon on our hands. She'll wear herself out eventually. The 3 of you pause to watch Cerberus run circles around one another. Just then, an idea occurs to you. Some way to perhaps get Judgment alone. Hey, Modius, why don't you go see if you can calm her down a bit? Aw, we're leaving already? No, but I figure if you start trying to get Cerberus to wind down now, by the time we're ready to leave, we should be able to wrangle her back into the car. Ah, right. Yeah, I'll try. Modius jogs off, only barely avoiding being trampled as she approaches the demonic whirlwind. Perhaps I should lend her a... Actually, Judgment, there's something I've been meaning to ask you about. Oh? You're finally ready to talk about what has had you so fidgety today? Well, out with it. Ahem. Confess thy sins, mortal. Only then can we move on to glorious retribution. No. No sins. It's about the other day. Well, about the past several days. Before you can finish your thought, are interrupted yet again. This time, however, it is not at the hands of Modius or Cerberus. Rather... Ain't no damn child. Rather, a child has let loose a loud and mournful wail, which has brought the entire park to a standstill. You, like everyone else, turn to see a young boy standing beside his father. And clutched in his tiny fist, there is an ice cream cone, conspicuously missing a scoop of ice cream on top. The scoop has fallen onto the sidewalk, and as it melts like a puddle of green goop, the father is trying to desperately to calm the child while searching fruitlessly through his pockets for enough change to buy another. It sounds like someone sneezing, not like a child crying. Your eyes dart to the glob of ice cream on the ground, and then to the cone held in Judgment's hand. The demon realizes at the same time as you that both flavors are the same. This realization, however, causes her to freeze. All eyes are on you now, given your close proximity to the unfolding disaster. Judgment turns to you as if to leave, and as she does so, you notice her glancing over her shoulder at Modius and Cerberus, who has stopped to watch along with everyone else. Realizing that now is the perfect moment to broach an otherwise awkward topic, you put out a hand to stop her from leaving. Judgment. What I've been trying to say all day is that Justice told me about your past, and I want you to know that it doesn't matter. We're all your friends, no matter what. Myself, Modius, Cerberus, Justice, we all care about you and want to see you happy. So please don't think you have to hide any aspect of yourself to be respected or cared for. Because I promise you that we'll accept you for whoever you are, even if that person isn't quite so demonic. Okay? Judgment looks up at you, searching your expression with narrow eyes. Perhaps you think she's looking for a trace of falsehood in your gaze. Whatever it is, the demon finds something that causes her expression to soften. She nods. Very well. Thank you, Taker. She turns to approach the kid, but you stop her with the hand on her shoulder. Judgment? What? You nod at her gauntlets. At once, Judgment understands and takes in a deep breath. Right. She hands you her ice cream to hold long enough for her to slip off her gauntlets. They clang against the sidewalk as she drops them to her side. Then, taking the ice cream back, Judgment makes her way over to the kid and kneels before him. At once her voice takes a soft tone that you'd never heard before. You realize that this is who Justice or Judgment is, who she has been all along. Aww. Shh, little one, do not despair. Here, you may have my ice cream. I I like that little detail back there. I too enjoy mint chocolate chip. At this, the wailing subsides. The child, still sniffling, looks between Judgment and his father. It's all right. You can take it, buddy. The kid nods and gingerly takes Judgment's cone. Thank you. It's no problem. The demon smiles and ruffles the child's hair before standing. That's really kind of you, miss. However, how can we ever thank you? Think nothing of it. I'm happy to help, really. Judgment returns to your side as the crowd disperses. Modius and Cerberus run up as well. At their arrival, you can feel Judgment tense up next to you, clearly afraid of what her fellow demons will think. Wow, Judgment. That was awesome. We expected you to blast him with an inferno to get him to shut up. Damn! But instead, you just gave him your ice cream. We would never have thought of that. Yeah. What you did for that kid was really sweet. Judgment's face reddens at the praise. Well, I just... Thanks, guys. What do you guys say we split a Sunday and then head home? A Sunday! Taker, I just got them to calm down. Yeah, I know, but I have a feeling that today might be worth celebrating a bit. Well, when you put it that way, I can't turn down a Sunday. Judgment? What are you asking me for? Of course, a Sunday sounds delicious. You grin and with the happy crowd of demons at your back, make your way back over to the ice cream cart to grab a large-sized sundae for everyone. As the daylight wanes, you all cram on a bench and devour the massive dessert together. By the time you finish, the evening is upon you, and everyone is full and ready to head home. I think I might have to skip dinner. Don't let Panda Monica hear that. It was her turn to cook dinner tonight. Ah, crap, really? You nod. Come on, maybe you'll feel less full by the time we get home. Let's run a couple laps around the park. You'll be fine. You'll get hungry then. Cerberus begins running in circles around the three of you as you head back toward the car. Judgment, on the other hand, is silent. It seems as though she's lost in thought. You decide not to bring it up, knowing that she'll talk when she's ready. As you approach the car, Modius quietly slips into the back seat while you and Judgment wrangle Cerberus into the car. Once everyone is ready to go, you lull the engine to life and head home. Once there, Modius and Cerberus are quick to head inside. You move to follow, but Judgment lingers behind, tugging on your shirt sleeve. Hey, Taker? Can I talk to you about something? Sure thing, Judgment. Is everything okay? Everything is great, actually. I just wanted to properly thank you for what you said today. I've been struggling with my identity a lot since I left Hell. It's so different here, so much kinder, that I was starting to forget why I was acting the way I was in the first place. And so the old me began to resurface. That kind of scared me, if I'm honest. I wasn't sure how you'd react if you knew who I really was, or I had been. I'm just happy to know that I was worried for nothing. Judgment looks down at the gauntlets clutched in her hands. Oh, she doesn't have them on. I suppose I don't need these anymore, do I? Actually, I think you should keep them. I should? Look, I don't know if you should really look at who you were before. I don't know if you should really look at who you were before and who you've become when you earn the title of High Prosecutor as two separate things. At the end of the day, they're both you. Different facets of you, but sure, but still you. What I'm trying to say is you shouldn't have to hide any part of yourself from us. If the con demon you used to be is still in there somewhere, and I suspect she is, I think you should let her out. But at the same time, I don't know if it's right for you to totally abandon the part of yourself. To abandon the part of yourself that you've become as High Prosecutor, because that self is just as real. It's not outrageous to think that you can't be both, or you can be both, as long as you feel that those two parts are genuine and can exist at the same time. Because at the end of the day, no matter who you choose to be, we'll all be here to support you. Okay? Aww. Thank you, Taker. I don't know I didn't know it before, but I think that's exactly what I've been wanting to hear all this time. I'm glad. I'm glad I didn't burn you alive for all eternity. Me too. And I'm glad I came here to live with you. With everyone. You didn't exactly make it easy for me to make my case. You know, I would apologize if I didn't think you enjoyed yourself at least a little. Maybe a little. But in all seriousness, I hope you know how much your support means to me. I haven't felt this free or comfortable in decades, maybe even centuries. And it's all thanks to you. Well, Before you can protest, Judgment throws her arms around you. More CG, come on! You are pulled into a warm hug that takes your breath away. Take my breath away! And not just because of how hard you're being squeezed. You accept my appreciation. Just accept my appreciation already. Smiling, you bury your face into Judgment's silvery hair. I suppose. You suppose? Very well, you leave me no choice. Judgment breaks the hug and grabs you by the collar. Ooh. Perhaps this will shut you over. She yanks you forward and meets your lips with her own. The last thing you can remember is thinking how effortlessly you melted into that kiss. No, CG, no! Fuck! Oh man, I was so pumped. Alright, this should be the last one from what I've read. It's probably going to be a fucking eternity to read. With the other girls attended to you, you head upstairs to once more inform Lucifer of your progress. After knocking on her door, you enter her room to find her dressed to the heels in what appears to be a party dress, admiring herself in the mirror. Taker, I was hoping you'd finish up in time. Why is that? Got a fun-filled evening planned, Lucy? We both do. We're going to have a business meeting. Of sensitive nature, I might ask. I've taken the liberty of procuring a reservation at the Plateau, but that's the fanciest restaurant in the area. Waitlist can stretch for months in advance. How did you manage to get us a reservation on short notice? Yeah. Lucifer grins a vulpine grin. Being a queen of hell has some advantages. Even here in the mortal world, one mustn't underestimate the lack of scruples within high society. Just kidding. I had Panna Monica arrange it. She can be quite convincing when she wants to be. I also took the liberty of procuring you a suit. You should find it on your bed. I expect you to look your best tonight. We are dressing to impress. You do as you are bid and change into the starchy tuxedo you find in your room. Making your way downstairs, you find Lucifer in hushed conversation. Justice, you're in charge until I get back. That awesome demon looks like she's about to say something, but changes her mind at the last moment. Smiling, she grips Lucifer's shoulder with one gloved hand. She nods, first at Lucifer, then up the stairs at you. Good luck, my friend. I hope tonight bodes well for the two of you. You drive to the Plateau. It is uneventful, and your occasional attempts at small talk are not reciprocated by Lucifer, as you wonder what on earth could cause the Queen of Hell to want to impress someone. Arriving at your destination, you open toss the keys to a waiting valet before opening Lucifer's door, helping her out onto the sidewalk. God. Shit, man. Let me go pee real quick. check. Installed something. Installed a new line on my toilet. Making sure it was working properly. Maybe it's just the light, but she looks enchanting in her glittering dress. Clasping hands, the two of you enter the restaurant. The impeccably dressed waiter inclines his head respectfully as you approach his desk. Welcome to the Plateau. I trust sir and madam have a reservation? Yes, let's see. 1412-15, I believe it was. The waiter makes a show of flipping through a leather-bound scheduling book. Eventually, he stops and peers down his horn-rimmed spectacles at the page entry. Yes, one table for a Lucifer Queen? Yes, that's us. But madam, there appears to be only two of you here. Shall we wait for the third party before accompanying you to your table? Third party. You turn to Lucifer, but her gaze is locked upon the waiter. Her answer's cool and holds none of the foreboding now gently bearing at the back of your mind. No, our other member has never been one for punctuality. She'll join us when she arrives. Until then, I'd like to enjoy a drink with my companion. The waiter eye twitches in carefully restrained irritation, but he smiles benignly, picks up two menus, and beckons you forwards. This way, if you please. The two of you follow the waiter into the ostentatious depths of the Palatile. The dining area is ornate. Marble pillars hold up painted ceilings. Soft music plays by a live band. Creates a pleasantly soothing background ambiance. The table you're shown to is tucked away from prying eyes. It carved from the same hard stone as the rest of the decor. The two of you take your seats, and Lucifer makes a wine selection before the waiter bows and leaves the two of you alone. Free for the moment of prying ears, you ask Lucifer the obvious question. So who's this third party invited along? I thought we were putting pleasure before business on this date. Oh, we are. Trust me. Our guest never arrives on time. As to her identity, I thought it would be best to extend an invitation to our opposition, see if we can't resolve this whole dispute peacefully. You invited the leader of disposed lords to have dinner with us. What else? I've got a romantic evening dinner with my taker, and I get a chance to resolve a burgeoning conflict before it gets any worse. Two birds with one stone, I say. Why'd bring me along for the meeting, though? I thought you didn't like me snooping into your affairs of office. Ah, now that is a stroke of brilliance on my part, if I do say so myself. See, whatever happens here, there are going to be people in the house who won't take my word at the gospel truth, shall we say. I assume you know you know of whom I refer. Mouth dry, you nod your assent. Whatever shall transpire here over the course of our meeting, I expect you to faithfully and accurately relate to the rest of the girls to the letter. Am I understood? So why even bring me along as opposed to, say, a tape recorder? Because I enjoy your company. Aw. Besides, just because we have business to attend to in the near future, it doesn't mean we can't enjoy ourselves in the now. Tell me, how are the girls doing? I've been so caught up in work I haven't had any free time for them. Zadrada is doing remarkably well, especially in light of Belphegor's burning her home down. Yeah, she's been camping in Cerberus's room, though I can't say I'm a fan of that development. Afraid she'll get Cerberus hooked on smoking? Quite the opposite. The thought of Cerberus' enthusiasm rubbing off on Zadrada presents a far more serious threat than anything the Fallen Lords might think of. Why, just imagining it gives me chills. Under the table, Lucifer gently nudges you with her leg, and you decide to play along, playing footsies. 3 of Cerberus is bad enough, but adding in a fourth like that, experimenting with recreational drugs, now that's a recipe for the end of the world right there. I say let a girl dream. Did you ever have a wish? Something you wanted to be when you grew up? A blush creeps into your cheeks, and unwanted memories come flooding into your mind. This isn't really the time. Why not? Why not here? Why not now? Alright, I'll tell you. But you can't laugh. Alright, I promise not to laugh at your silly dreams. I wanted to be an astronaut as a child. Dear me, don't tell me you humans are still interested in that barren expanse of nothing. What on earth could have attracted you to such a career? My grandmother used to read me stories of faithful little excerpts from the Bible, teaching moral lessons well suited for the minds of children. Lucifer rolls her eyes at this, but remains silent. In many of these stories, God speaks to a human from heaven, and at that age that I was, I always assumed heaven was above, in the sky. I wanted to go there, to see the majesty of the heavens all of my own. Well, it seems she ended up traveling in a rather wrong direction for that. And yet I'd say I still found something worth looking for, if you'll pardon the romanticism. Oh god, this guy sent a lot of reading. Oh no, do go on. It's been ages since someone adored me. I have no drinks left, and I'm too stubborn to go get another one. It's getting really hot in here again. That's not good. I'm gonna get sick. Traveling to hell to find myself a harem will most likely be the de facto experience of my life. A prediction given all the more relevance, considering I expected my lifespan to be shortened dramatically by living with demons. But despite all that, I don't regret a single choice. Knowing you has brought me more vibrance into my life than I could have ever found if I lived to be 100. This pleases me. Tell me more. You always know what you want, and you always plan ahead to keep yourself and others happy. You may not be forthcoming with sensitive topics, but I've never once suspected malice to be the reason behind it. I love the way you curl your hair around your horns, and I love how you polish your crown each night before you go to sleep. I love how you care about the other girls, even if they can't always see it. Your confidence and tenacity befits a queen, and I know that if I or any of the others were ever in trouble, you do all that you could to help us. Why, Taker, I'm touched. I haven't even had praise that genuine in over 600 years. I think you deserve a reward. The truth. The truth? Yes. You may ask me one question, and one question only. I will do my best to see it answered truthfully. What are you keeping from Cerberus? She was only a fledgling demon at the time. One of the four, Sathanas, I believe, snatched her out of the Aether before she was fully formed. They kept her around as a sort of pet, and she imprinted upon them, like most demons do, vices and sins. When we cast them down, Cerberus's mental state was broken. She relapsed into an empty slate, incapable of independent thought or movement. Hard to believe, she's so energetic now. Lucifer turns away, a flush staining her cheeks as red as the wine in her glass. Well, we couldn't leave her like that. She had no purpose, so I decided to give her one. With the four lords cast out, we needed someone to guard against their return. We stuffed her full of the remnants of the power of justice, and I tore from the four. God damn it, my throat. Rem doll, please help me. My Rem doll. You tried to give her a purpose by force? It was that or leave her in a vegetative state. I didn't know. I couldn't have. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Anger flares in your chest. Two birds with one stone, right? You didn't see her. Removing the only family she had ever known stripped something irreplaceable away from her. But I realize now the error of my ways. I shouldn't have tried to force something into the new vacancy. You understand you can't tell her about this, right? Whatever happens, she must keep seeking out her own happiness. If she learns about her past, she'll give up the search for self-actualization. And I will have to come to terms with what I've created. Alright, I promise. For now, at least. Lucifer takes your hand in hers, squeezing them firmly. It's good to know I have your confidence. You know full well you have more than that. You have my penis. Oh, my Taker. So forwards. Ran out of roundabouts already, have you? Ooh. Lucifer gently tugs on your fingers, pulling you towards her. The candlelight flickers in her eyes, reflecting something strange you haven't seen there before. Happiness? Regret? Might as well enjoy ourselves here while we can, wouldn't you agree? You nod and she smiles. Leaning forward, she tilts her head, her lips set on an unmistakable target, your own. You dare close your eyes, leaning into the approaching kiss. Lucifer's free hand cups the back of your head, softly guiding your lips towards hers. You feel her hot breath on your mouth and part your lips to meet hers. I knew it was coming. I fucking knew it.
Ugh, you're gonna make me barf, usurper.
How about you put your newest boy toy down and greet your nemesis like a proper lady? Lucifer's mouth is perhaps a quarter of an inch from your own when she turns towards the newcomer. Nice. The interrupter is a woman and unmistakably demonic in origin. If the shock of white hair that seems to explode from her skull isn't enough of a giveaway, her crimson eyes and curvy ivory horns complete the picture. Got that mesh tank top. Unlike the other demons you've encountered so far, this demon's fashion sense appears to have been sourced from the local mosh pit. She stands half a head taller than most demons, a feature only enhanced by her tattered combat boots laced up her calves. Oh, I'm trying to fight my way through this. I'm starting to get a little nauseous. I think my computer's running hot. It's like making me alive. Her outfit is a disjointed mess of fishnets and leather. A slim guitar is hung over one of her shoulders, and from the dents covering the surface, you can tell it's been well used. Ah, Sathanas, I see you're merely fashionably late, as opposed to insultingly. I wasn't expecting you to arrive so promptly. Unlike you, I'm single-minded in my obsessions. Grunting, the demon slings her guitar over the back of her chair before taking her seat. Leaning back in the chair, she places her tattered combat boots on the ivory tablecloth, the gesture one of contempt and disregard. Very ritzy, this place. It ill suits a pretender such as you. I do hope it's not indicative of what you've done to my castle in hell. Undeterred by the open hostility demonstrated by the new demon, Lucifer maintains her polite tone of voice. You look positively famished, practically wasting away. Can I order you something to eat? No, thank you. Vipers like you deliver their venom through feast as easily as they do through fangs. Quit dodging the topic at hand, usurper. We're here to strike a deal, nothing more. Lucifer smiles a lipless smile and gestures the attendant waiter to find someone else to bother. To business, then. Despite the somewhat esoteric nature of the ultimatum your henchwoman delivered my servant here, I believe I have what it is you seek. Oh, you have it. Or you have you? Lucifer inclines her head. I've reached my decision. If it is all you desire, I'm prepared to make an exchange. You agree to let my subjects go unmolested on this plane, and in exchange I will forfeit my life to you. What? Lucifer, no, you can't do this! Under the table, Lucifer squeezes your thigh reassuringly. However, she does not break eye contact. Her eyes keep moving, okay. She does not break eye contact with the demon sitting across the table. That's what you're here for, isn't it, Sathanas? The wrathful. You want revenge for me disposing you all those years ago, don't you? Oh, trust me, I'd love to rip that pretty little head right off your shoulders, but your pride betrays you once more, usurper. I don't want your life. I want to take back what is mine. Lucifer's brow raises a fraction of an inch before frowning again. Sathanas' proclamation has evidently caught her off guard. Picking up her glass of wine, she idly sips it while pondering the reprobate demon across the table. Have your years in exile altered your mind, Sathanas? I'm offering you my head, and the throne along with it. I doubt anyone in my household has a mind to challenge your claim. Sathanas laughs, a husky, spiteful chuckle that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. You really don't get it, do you? Oh, what am I thinking? Of course you don't. You're always so big picture, you never learn to notice the little things. Sathanas gestures towards you with the black-nailed hand. Take this human, for example. You've gone so long without acknowledging your mutual feelings, the tension is practically boiling off you. I don't... That's irrelevant. Get to the point already, Sathanas, before I lose my patience completely. Alright then. I want something back that was at the time freely given. And while I know it's in such bad taste to take back a gift, I find myself rather unable to live without it. Sathana stands up as she leans across the table, embers dripping from her mouth as she delivers her demands. I want my horn back, usurper. Nothing more, oh hey. Lucifer mouth twists, setting into a firm, lipless line. Why, dear Sathanas, I haven't the slightest idea where that thing is. Last time I saw it, you'd broken it off yourself in the last-ditch effort to hurt me. Sathanas throws back her head and roars with laughter. A tongue of flame shoots out between her teeth, illuminating the alcove with a sickly orange glare. Ha! Didn't I succeed in that little adventure? But don't play dumb, usurper. We both know exactly where I left my horn, and now I get it back. The stem of the wine glass shatters, crushed into powder by Lucifer's grip. The bowl is still half filled with red liquid, falls to the ground, shattering across the polished wooden floor of the restaurant. Almost at once, an attendant trots out from the wings of the kitchen, mop and rag poised to clean up the mess. However, at a scathing look from both women sitting at the table, the attendant wisely beats a hasty retreat back out of sight. When it finally comes, Lucifer replies as cold and unyielding as iron. I was prepared to offer you my life if it meant those close to me could live in peace. But it appears that you once again wish to exact a toll upon me that is too costly to pay, and I will never, never forgive you for the things you've done. You would take the same life twice, and ask me to do it with my own hands. And for what? A chance at a return of your shattered power? You know as well as I do what happens to a demon if their horns are damaged. You're a ticking time bomb and you know it. There's nothing you can do to stop the inevitable. Sathana smirks, her file teeth glittering in the candlelight. Well, it's a good thing you exiled the underworld's layman along with me, isn't it? Sathana smacks her fingers, the sound echoing off the marble columns that pepper the inside of the whatever. Once more, a waiter appears, only this time it isn't the short, well-dressed man who showed you to your table. The new waiter is dressed in a baggy, ill-fitting outfit, almost a parody of the trim tuxedos worn by the rest of the staff. Holy shit. Oh, I need to take a break. I'm starting to get really woozy. Oh, shit. Oh, boy. Alright, give me like a couple minutes. Ugh, fuck. second. Ooh, God. Exhaustion worn face. Abby? You shouldn't be here. Things could get messed. With one hand, Abby reaches up to her head, grasps her hair, and pulls. Oh. The short wig is removed, feeling a cascade of milky white hair to drift across her face. Without the hat on, two white horns are visible poking through her hair. I kind of liked her with brown hair. You're a demon? Lucifer narrows her eyes at Abby, and her skull deepens. Abaddon. When the other girls mentioned an omnipresent jaw-popping slob, I had my suspicions. But I never imagined you'd be roped into working for her. You're always the most independent of the four. I always respected that about you. Tell me, how does it feel to sell out for this short-sighted berserker? Kick played. Well, I would. But creative thought positively exhausts me. Abaddon here is surprisingly good at mortal jobs. She's been the one keeping us fed and clothed this whole time, and that's not all she's picked up. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. I assisted a mortal physician for a time. Long enough to pick up a thing or two about surgery. I'm pretty sure it's possible to return her horn, long as I'm careful with it. Be that as it may, my answer remains the same. I showed you mercy once before. Rest assured I will not be making the same mistake again. Very well, if you will not give it willingly, you leave me, us, with no choice. Seth thus extends one clawed hand to point a damning finger at Lucifer. O Queen, O Liege, there shall be no peace between us. There is nowhere you can run, and nowhere you can hide to escape the unchecked wrath of Sathanas. Nothing short of heart's blood shall sway me from my unholy cause. Consider this an end to our first and last negotiation. Oh. Reaching up behind her, Sathanas swings her guitar over her head and onto the table at meteoric speeds. A flash of light and a deafening crack sends you reeling, and even behind your trademark sunglasses, you feel your retinas smolder. When you regain your vision, you see the stone table has been riven in two by the force of the blow. Sathas and Abaddon are gone, disappeared during the light show. Looks like time's done nothing to soften her temper, nor her fondness for melodrama. She always had a flair for the overdramatic. Looks like we'll have to put off dinner for now. I'm sure the rest of the girls will want to hear about this. And I can think of at least one I need to have a serious talk with. Okay. I really like this demo. It's so good. So that's the end for now. Oh, we have all the CGs at the moment. How do I... Oh, Modius. Okay. Basil, wait, how do I get basil bulbs? Huh? Can you get more of hers? Wait a minute, hold on. Hold on, I'm curious. I want to see if I can unlock the rest. Wait, I thought you had to... Oh, hang on. How do we do this? Yes, back to title screen. I want to know how you get the... Oh, hang on. That's probably going to be it for the stream. My throat is killing me. Put it on BRB for the moment. Oh. Okay. Put it on BRB. I'll actually put myself here for the moment. There we are. So that was Second Circle. I really like that game. It's a nice little fan game. I want to see. Hold on. How do you even date her? Wait. Wake up after Lucy's first date. Click on the wardrobe if you did the. Wait, what? So. Hold on, I'm gonna. It says that if you click on. I gotta see this. No, I don't want to fucking date Panda Monica again. Please stop. Let's do this. I want to know how to get this date. Okay, let's. I should have made multiple save files. This is gonna take like a quick minute to do. When you wake up after Lucy's first date, click on the wardrobe. If you did Beelzebub's first date, you'll get different dialogue. You've got it. Okay. I'll do new game. Skip. Looks like there's different dialogue. Okay, I can't. This is actually very frustrating. If I skip it, then I can't see the dialogue. So at top is no good. My mouse is almost charged. That's nice. So I'm thinking while I attempt this, if I can't get it to work. Nope, that's fucking Panda Monica's date. Hold on. Let me fucking do this. This shit's really annoying. Okay. Wait, what? This looks like a different... I'm getting like looping dialogue. This looks like different art. Wait, how do you clean the fridge? What? I am so confused. There is a second date. I don't know how to get to it. Hold on. Menu. Let me get to the menu. Damn it. Okay, we gotta do title again. Fuck. Were there flies? It says you cleaned the flies. Hang on. I'll try one last time. This is actually really annoying. If there's like a new update, I might... Okay. Okay, so we got the first date. Okay. I can't... I gotta do Lucifer's first date. No, it's probably not gonna... This is gonna be really annoying. I'm literally just having to fucking blast through the other dates. Alright, chat, I guess we're gonna hang out for a little bit longer. Ugh. So how have you guys been doing? I've been, first time we've chatted this whole stream, like, properly. It's a 3-hour stream and I finally got to talk. But, I've been doing somewhat okay. I, bought Fear 2 for the Xbox. I'll tell you something, that game, on the Xbox at least, it ain't good, chief. Like, it plays so bizarrely. Okay, it's Molina's, we just... Okay. Just knocked out Molina's. Zadrada, we got next. But yeah, no. Fear 2 on the Xbox, because, you know, it's backwards compatible version. That game looks like all washed out and shit. It's really weird. Like, it's so blurry. The saturation's all over the place. And you, like, the movement doesn't feel right either. I know I'm just listing off complaints, but it's fine. Like, I wish there were more scares. I wish Alma was more of a threat, I guess. She's not really a threat at all. She just kind of shows up occasionally and is a minor annoyance. Alright, we're finishing. We're doing Azazel now. Alright, we got Justice. You see Justice's ass again. Well, not her ass, but her, like, thick behind when she does her squat. Okay. we can do. Let's save Lucifer. Okay, shit just broke. I'm gonna be very careful of how I do this. Did I fuck it up? I honestly don't know how to do it. I might have to look into this later. Because I can't figure out exactly what I have to do. Because it looks like there's a scene that plays out. I can't tell if I have to. Because this video I'm watching, it says there's no commentary, but there's this scene that plays out that I haven't seen yet. Let me try. Is it? Okay, I was scared for a second. This is when we go into hell. Okay. I'm just trying to fly through this. Oh, what the fuck? Oh. Okay, so if we ever have to do this again, like if they release a new update, seeing some interesting side choices. I don't know how to. Okay, we're just gonna. Like, because the person I'm watching, they literally start the game and then somehow they have something happen, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. Whatever. Mm. Fuck my anus. Ugh. My anus, dude. Fuck me. Sideways. Alright, well, I guess that's gonna be the end of the stream because I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. Wait. Beelzebub's second date. Hold on. I'm reading posts and people are like, how do we do it? I'm just like, I don't fucking know, dude. I'm confused. Alright, maybe when they release it officially, we can do it, or if they have another nice update, we'll play it then. Because I'm like, what the fuck? Alright, so yeah, that's been Helltaker. Don't really know what to play after this. I have my eye on a game. I don't normally like games like this. It's like one of those runaway games. I'm not the biggest fan of them. It's Psycho no Stuka Stalker. Looks like a fun game. It just I feel like games like that are really hard. Anyway, it's enough rambling for me. Yeah, my throat's fucking killing me. All that fucking reading. Yeah. Alright, so I will try to get these up on my YouTube channel, these VODs, as soon as I am able to remember. I actually have to check. Sometimes I forget to record, and I have videos that I don't know what I've done with. So, like I said, I'll try and get them up. I might stream tomorrow, same time, 11-ish. And we'll play something. I don't know what. I wanted to try Final Fantasy 14, but they don't have free copies right now. So I gotta figure something out. Anyway, I've been your boy Haps. Thank you people who stopped by. I'll see you all later. Bye. Bye. Bye.